We send our prayers up. Shout out Sword of Truth family, Kawakawa in Guatemala, the brothers and sisters that he teaches from California all the way to the East Coast and Georgia and further out. Amiyataza in London. Shalom. Hope you're doing good too. Stream of Wisdom, Houston. Kwatazap Shalom. Stream of Wisdom, Virginia, Kazakia. Shalom. And Stream of Wisdom, Rochester, New York. Zion, Shalom. Hope you all are doing great. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to get back together and build bonds coming up in this Passover. The Passover is March 31st. So it's going to be good to see everybody and get reacquainted with brothers and sisters. So without further ado, we're running a little late. We're going to send our prayers up. Imagine us, just us. Rock the hell by Shem Yahshai.
Rock the hell by Shem Yahshai.
How nothing an hour. A war. Zay one. The water.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi that gives us the light this day. Thanks. So be it.
Rock the hell by Shem Yahshai.
Rock the hell by Shem Yahshai.
How nothing an hour. Rayach. Nayachach. The water.
Aman. Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi that gives us a sweet savor. Thank you, so be it.
Imagine Wapunya Yerushalayim.
Stand and face Jerusalem.
Rock the hell by Shem Yahshai.
Rock the hell by Shem Yahshai.
Hashabbat. Bashalom. The water. Aman.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashi that gives to us the Sabbath in peace. Thank you, so be it.
Psalms 121. Anasha. Ayanyamya. Ahoya. Ma'aya. Yabu'a. Isaiah. Yabu'a. Ma. Yehovah. Sha'isha. Shemaiah. Wa'arataza. La'ab. Yonathan. Lamawat. Regalia. Yala'a. Nawam. Shashamoyah. Ana. Yala'a. Nawam. Wala'a. Yishan. Shashawamot. Yeshua. Yehovah. Shemaiah. Yehovah. Tizalia. Ayah, Yanyamya, Yad, Hashemash, Yala'a, Hakayat, Bayawam, Wala'a, Halabana, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashemaya, Makol, Ray, Yashemaj, Napasha, Yahweh, Yashemaj, Hawalakia, Wabuaya, Ma'itha, Wa'ai, Iwalam, Aman.
Psalms 121 in English. I will lift up my eyes into the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. He shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. The Lord shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth, and even forevermore. Amen.
Amen. Israelite Credo. Shema Yahshua. Yehovah. Eloheinu. Yehovah. Echad. Shema Yahshua. Yehovah. Eloheinu. Yehovah. Echad. Shema Yahshua. Yehovah. Eloheinu. Yehovah. Echad.
Hear Israel, Yahweh our power. Yahweh is one.
Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shema, Kwadash, Hayah, Shemka, Yehovah, Malak Waka, Sabbath, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawah, Hayah, Bashemaya, Netanyahu, Lachom, Kol, Yawam, Wasalachana, Chawafina, Kasalachana, Chawafina, Wala'ah, Tabyalo, Barasawan, Abo, Harushaya, Mayim, Right, Kayab, Lakab, Hamalakwaf, Waha'ala, Wahatapa Arab, La'ayam Alamyam. Amen.
The Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Amen. Ten Commandments. La'a, Yahaya, Laka, Alahaya, Achaya, Ayo, Panya.
Thou shalt have no other powers before me.
Number 2. La'a, Ta'ina, Laka, Hasa, Wala'a, Ta'ibada.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, nor serve them.
Number 3. La'a, Talach Sham, Yahweh, Bashawa.
Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy power in vain.
Number 4. Zakar, Hayawam, Hashabah, Rakodashwa.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Number 5. Kabad, Abaka, Ya'amaka.
Honor thy father and thy mother.
Number 6. La'a, Zaratazak.
Thou shalt not kill, murder.
Number 7. La'a, Thana'a.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
La'a, Thagana.
Thou shalt not steal.
Number 9. La'a, Tha'ina, Shakor.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Number 10. La'a, Thakhamat, Ko, Ashara, Raraika.
Thou shalt not covet anything which is thy neighbor's.
Bashem Yashad,
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, that gives us the law.
Okay, Israel, Yeshabiam.
Everybody see?
Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna do a quick recap of where we stopped in Ezra before we move forward. Just a quick heads up. King Cyrus of Persia in 538 BC came into power and control of his large realm. Okay? And once he got control of his entire realm was when he became inspired to give the Jews their homeland. We went into it, this is like 2 weeks ago. And once he had got all the mechanics and all the process going to get the Jews into their land, I would say less than 50,000 Jews made the trip to Jerusalem to rebuild out of over 1 million of the population of Jews scattered throughout the world. And once we had got that situated, it took obviously time to go and clear out the space of the temple, clear it out, organize it, clean it. And it took, I would say, 7 months to get the temple, or at least, I'm not going to say the temple, but to get the altar set up. It took to the 7th month of that year that they came into back into their land, to where they got the altar set up, and that was around the 7th month, which was the time of the Feast of Tabernacles, Day of Atonement, Memorial blowing the trumpets. That was when they were doing sacrifices again on the altar. So then we go into 2 years span, and the money started flowing in for the construction of the temple, but they had only gotten in a 2-year span to get the foundation set up. So it took 2 years of money, materials, and just different political responsibilities to get the foundation set up. And we talked about how the fact that when the foundation was set up, there was a mixture of crying and adulation and celebration. There was celebration because it was an accomplishment to even get the foundation set up in the name of the Lord. for the temple. But it was tears and sadness because those who had seen the temple at its highest
The
peak
original temple, yeah.
knew it was definitely a drop down in the caliber of what it once was.
And also,
So there was sadness there too.
and you also showed last time about how we had the decree to build the temple, but the process didn't happen as fast as the decree. It took a lot longer to get this temple built than you would expect.
Well, but see, that process kicks in later because it took 2 years just to get the foundation set up, but they were still on a decent type of pace. But after they had got the foundation set up, is when the adversity kicks in. And we're going to go back now to Ezra chapter 4, verse 1, so we can just kind of slowly recap where we kind of stopped at verse 3 and 4 and 5. I want to start from the top of that chapter, and then we'll kind of explain how things went. So once we got at that 2-year mark, which is around 536 BC approximately 536 BC, is when the challenges really start to fuel and fester. So let's get Kariah. Let's switch your salute in.
Kariah, Shah Shabbatah, Bana Shah, Banya Shala.
Kariah, show us a matah, Bana Shah, Bana Shah, and much of right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Rekatah.
Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshua Rekatah.
That's your matah. Okay, let's read that.
Ezra, chapter 4, and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra, chapter 4, and verse 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Most High power of Israel.
So what we're also about to establish, and we read it in previous chapters. Matter of fact, give me Ezra 3 and verse 3 first.
Ezra chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, and they set the altar upon his bases, for fear was upon them because of the people of those countries. And they came offering burnt offerings.
And they offered burnt offerings. What this verse 3 is explaining is that there was fear by the people of the other countries. The surrounding countries were instigating issues. But as soon as the Jews came back to their homeland, they had to kick out who? Squatters, people taking their land, people inhabiting their jurisdictions. So there was a lot of backlash and tension amongst the people inhabiting that area already happening. There was already a tense situation. All right? So now we jump back to verse 1 in Ezra so we can kind of explain the background of our rebuilding. It wasn't just sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops. There was tension, there was stress. There was a large faction of people that had been living there for 70 years that weren't happy that the original inhabitants were back in their land. Let's continue.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 1. Now when the adversaries of Judah and Benjamin heard that the children of the captivity builded the temple unto the Most High power of Israel.
So now these people that already weren't happy that they were getting kicked out of their land, now they're sitting back here and seeing that at least the altar was getting built and getting established. And they were on their way to establishing the temple. Which also it's a warning because now they're going to get their power back.
Yeah.
Then they're thinking, these guys might come and take our lands.
Yeah.
They came and took Judah and they take Benjamin back. It's a matter of time before they take the northern country that they have claim to. So they're sitting back here like, we're going to do something about this. We've initially pushed the spirit of fear on these people. Now let's sit back here and act like or feign that we're working with them so we can gain some kind of political advantage down the line. So let's continue.
Verse 2. Then they came to Zerubbabel and to the chief of the fathers.
Zerubbabel was the individual that was chosen by Cyrus. Whether it was Zerubbabel who had a different name or it was his uncle. That family line was chosen to lead the Jews back to Babylon. So he was the point man. So they came to the point man, Zerubbabel, and to the chief of the fathers, the priest, read on,
and said unto them, let us build with you, for we seek your power, as ye do. And we do sacrifice unto him since the days of Esarhaddon, king of Assur,
Shalmaneser, read on.
which brought us up hither.
Okay.
But Zerubbabel and Joshua.
So they're saying, let's sit back here and build with you, because we serve the same God. We went into all this last week. I'm not going to go into it this week. We know that they were celebrating other idols also. And they never really learned how to properly serve the Most High, because the priests that taught them weren't properly taught in the first place. They weren't Levites. We got that, right? So let's continue. So they want to get in on this building and really want to sit back and maintain some kind of political advantage in the region. It was all political. And nothing to do with the spirit. Yes, Imad.
I'm sorry, you said Esarhaddon, this guy at the end of verse 2, that's Shalmaneser?
It's Shalmaneser. It's Shalmaneser. Or, because during that period of time, when Shalmaneser took over the northern kingdom around 721 BC, there was another head that was with Shalmaneser in the conquest of the region. I don't have his specific name. You might look up and find Esarhaddon is not Shalmaneser, but it's still the group of regents that led the conquest of the territory.
Okay.
So Esarhaddon is a different name that I can't think of off the top of my head. But he was still lined up with Shalmaneser, because Shalmaneser, when you read 2 Kings 17, was the one that was given the initial credit for the seizing of the temple, or the seizing of the northern kingdom. But he had other generals and people that was with him. So Esarhaddon might not be Shalmaneser, but it was under his reign and time period when they came and took him out. That makes sense? Okay.
And it says right here, it says, Esarhaddon, which means Assur, has given a brother. That's what his name means. King of Assyria, 681 to 669 BC. The younger son of Sennacherib.
Mm-hmm.
Esarhaddon.
And Sennacherib was the one that was actually fighting with Shalmaneser when they took him out. So what they're saying about Esarhaddon, more than likely, is after Shalmaneser had passed, the next king is the one who sit back and initiated sending an Israelite northern kingdom priest to teach them. Yes, he was a successor.
And it says this right. It says, Esarhaddon obtained the throne of Assyria after his older brothers murdered their father.
So we also talked about months ago how after we fell in the northern kingdom, that was the beginning of their downfall. There was a lot of, read if I'm not mistaken, it was in Tobit talked about that. How there was a lot of dissension in the kingdom of the Assyrian Empire, and they were on their way down, and Babylon was on their way up after we got poured out. Anyway, point is, that's Esarhaddon. He's one of the kings, and he allowed the non-Levite Israelite priests to teach them a half form of how to serve the Most High. Okay? So, now read verse 3.
Ezra chapter 4 and verse 3. But Zerubbabel and Joshua.
Jeshua was the high priest. Joshua, Yahushai, it's all the same name. He who saves. Okay? So he was the first high priest coming back to Babylon. But read on.
All right. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, Ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our power, but we ourselves together will build unto the most high power of Israel, as King Cyrus, the king of Persia, have commanded us.
Because listen, this was about the deal Cyrus had with the original Jews. They're not the original Jews. So stop acting like you support us now when we first got down here, there was beef. Get the point?
Right.
They came down here and they had initiated fear and stress and pressure. Now we're here. Now you want to act like you care. You don't care. So let's keep this business and allow us to do our business like we're supposed to. Now there's one disadvantage to this. There were already governors stationed in Persia that had a greater connection with who? the Samaritan people for over the 10, 15 years that the Persians had jurisdiction over there. So the Samaritans had greater ties with the governors of the region than we had ties with the governors of the region. Keep that in mind. Let's continue.
Verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah.
Now the people of the Samaritan people, not going into all their nationalities is a waste of time, but we do know, according to Josephus, that the Samaritans, a lot of them had Persian origin. So they said these people, after they were rejected or rebuffed in the building process of Jerusalem or the temple, they started making life hard for the Jews in the area. They were already creating fear and tension. Now they're sitting back here and going to apply political pressure on the people of the land. We read last week about how they were establishing bribes. And they were bribing the governors into slowing down the work or creating shabby work. All it was doing was wasting time after that second year that they had returned back to the country. So they were stalling process, they were stalling work, they were messing up work orders to get in the way of the construction and building of the actual temple. Let's continue.
God. It says, verse 4. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose.
Exactly. So once again, they hired governors. They paid off and bribed the lower chain of command of King Cyrus's bureaucracy. Everything, it starts from the top, but you have to have a strong leader. You have to have strong officers and governors to execute construction on that scale. They had to get the wood from Tyre and Zidon, but you had to sit back here and make sure shipping was done the right way. You remember like a few years ago when there was a big shipping crisis?
Yeah.
And all these shipping boats were out in the sea, in the East Coast and the West Coast, and they couldn't get in. And they were talking about Christmas was in danger of having a real Christmas because everything coming from out of country was stacked up 3 and 4 months in. That's how you can kind of slow up production. You slow up shipping. You slow up production that way. Then you can't get what you need in the inland states. So then construction slows up. Then all of a sudden prices get higher. You can control the process by controlling the shipping, by controlling individuals getting things from point A to point B. Okay, and so then you can sit back and say the Jews need 30 trees of lumber from Tyre, X amount of stones from here, X amount of items from here, rebar, whatever. What if you sit back and cut down the rebar amount in half? You can't get anything done then. Everything slows up. I understand even when you're building there, you have to get permits from the city to get things built. When you're in town, you have to get permits. What if it takes 6-7 months for permits to clear? Then you're screwed. I remember we were trying to build a daycare years ago. It took 4 or 5 months just to get the permission for us to build a daycare. We had a meeting. We were supposed to be a meeting. Then the meeting got pushed back 2 months. And then people have to come by in the area if they don't approve of what's going on in that area. If they don't like what you're doing, they can protest it. They can argue it. Then things get pushed on even longer. This is why, I don't know if you notice when you're driving around, you'll see these yellow signs saying rezoning.
Yeah.
You'll see the rezoning sign first. You can't even buy the property, or it's not smart to buy the property until zoning clears.
Yep.
That could take 3 to 5 months for rezoning. Then once zoning clears, then you got to get financing. Then you got to buy it. Then you got to construct it. Then you might have to get building sucks.
Bureaucracy.
And it takes long damn times to build things from scratch. And you got to have strong money.
Yeah.
You have to have money stashed that you weren't even prepared to pay. Anyway, the point is, what it takes to rebuild something is easier said than done. And it takes a lot of different people, a lot of different channels to accomplish this. And these Samaritan leaders understood exactly what they had to do to impede process, to impede growth. We got that, right? Now let's get verse 6.
Oh, we didn't finish.
Oh, let's finish verse 5. Salakia.
No, you good. Ezra chapter 4 and verse 5. And hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose.
To frustrate their purpose. Yes, sir.
All the days of Cyrus, king of Persia.
Now listen, Cyrus, king of Persia, he initiated his power in 550, but he didn't get global power till 538. Then he died in 530. He died in approximately 530 BC. So if you think about it, we had got the foundation and the altar set up in 536. So once these Samaritans got to the point to make the decision, they were going to impede growth. They impeded growth. They impeded construction for 6 years. It's 6 years of political red tape. 6 years of not getting anything done and spinning your wheels. Because the powers that be lock things down and slow down the opportunities. Are we clear so far? So now, when you're reading chapter 4, there's different phases and different times going on, so you have to know when to break them down. So by the time we ended chapter 5, Cyrus has passed on. 530 BC, he's dead in the dirt. Now the next king kicks in. All right? Now, let's go and look up, let's read verse 6.
Verse 6. It says, and in the reign of Ahasuerus.
Listen, stop. Now, this is very important. I'm taking my time here. It says, in the reign of Ahasuerus. It's an Ahasuerus. When you sit back and look up that name, it says of Persian origin, Ahasuerus or Artaxerxes. Then it says, but in this case, Xerxes. Now, this is where, then it goes later on, it says, the title of a Persian king. Now, this is the problem. People will read this and say, oh, this Ahasuerus was Xerxes. This Ahasuerus wasn't Xerxes. And I'm going to explain why. When you sit back here and look at the origins of all the Persian kings, is there any way I can put this on the screen? Let me see if I can do this. It's not letting me. You guys got to take my word for it. Huh? Well, yeah, listen, this time, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on you, though. I'm sending it to you, Nagaha. Maybe you can send it to me. Or send it back to the computer. I would like people to see this on screen. So they don't think I'm just capping on people. Huh? I'm trying to airdrop. That's what I'm. No, you don't need to send it back to me. I need to airdrop on the screen.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm having problems. I'm having problems getting on the computer so I can put it up.
Damn.
It's just not even making noise. It's like there's no like beeping. Like I got it. Okay, is that behind on a? I guess it is that behind.
A couple seconds like that.
Okay, well, okay. Hear me out. This. You guys gotta just trust me, man. So anyway, Cyrus the Great was in power. They say from 550 to 529, 530. All the dates are always a little off, like a year. Then the next king is Cambyses II. Cambyses II is the next king. Now, just so you know, Cambyses I was the father of Cyrus. So Cambyses II is the next person in power, and he reigned for 7 years. Then you had King Darius, was the king after Cambyses. Darius I reigned from 522 to 486. That's, what is that? That is 14, that's like 16 years? No, I'm sorry, that's 40 years. 14 plus 22. That's 36, right? So, 36 years King Darius I was in power. Then you get Xerxes I, which came into power after that. So 30, then 7. There's no way this Ahasuerus It's talking about Xerxes the first. That's why I'm bringing it out. What you're going to read, gets kind of confusing in Ezra and Nehemiah, and in reading Esther, is that they keep talking about the same king. The same king Ahasuerus or Xerxes is in Esther. That's the same king that's written right here in Ezra chapter 4. And there's like 30, 40 years of time in between the two that had to happen before we got to this. And what we're going to read is in Ezra chapter 5 and 6, is that King Darius steps in. You can't have King Xerxes before you get King Darius. That's why I kind of went on the screen so you can see the timeline. It's King Cyrus. It's King Cambyses II, which is what this Ahasuerus is. What I'm trying to explain, read that last definition that we read. Well, I read it. It says, the title of a Persian king, Ahasuerus. That's what you're reading when you read in Ezra chapter 4, verse 6. Read verse 6 again.
Ezra chapter 4, verse 6. And in the reign of Ahasuerus.
So, in the reign of the next Persian king is what Ahasuerus is. Just like saying in the reign of Caesar. In the reign of the next president. He just didn't get specific as to which king it is. But it wasn't Xerxes. Just because Ahasuerus could have been interpreted as Artaxerxes. Because Artaxerxes came even after Xerxes. So that I'm reading this and I'm explaining this because you have to put this in your Bibles so you don't get concerned with what king is what. The king that came into power after King Cyrus was Cambyses II. Okay? Now, just keep that in mind. Trust me, everything will be okay. Read verse 6.
Verse 6. And in the reign of Ahasuerus, in the beginning of his reign, wrote they unto him an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem.
Okay, so now what's happening is after King Cyrus died, now they can sit there and go right to the top. They don't have to just keep bribing governors at this point. I can go right to the top and break these Jews and their construction plans and nip it right in the bud. This was an opportunity for the Samaritans to sit back and nix construction altogether by sitting back here and snitching on the Jews and snitching on the Jews' history to this man Cambyses. Okay? Read on.
Verse 7. And in the days of Artaxerxes wrote Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabeel.
Now Mithridath was still the same guy that was under King Cyrus, being his paperwork guy or administrator or high administrator at the time. Well, let's continue.
It says, and the rest of their companions unto Artaxerxes, king of Persia.
And once again, Ahasuerus, Artaxerxes, this was not literal Artaxerxes. We're going to prove it once we get to the Josephus. But it's not just Josephus proof, it's historical proof. Artaxerxes, Ahasuerus was just the name of the leader at the time. Read on.
And the writing of the letter was written in the Syrian tongue and interpreted in the Syrian tongue.
Okay.
Rehum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter against Jerusalem to Artaxerxes, the king, in this sort.
So the letter was written in Syrian, to Cambyses II. And an interpreter took it and read it back to him in his Persian tongue for King Cambyses to understand. Okay? Now, just so you know, historically, King Cambyses was the king that expanded the Persian Empire to expand to Egypt as well. Matter of fact, I do think I have an image of that. Yes, if you look at the image online, you'll see Egypt conquered by Cyrus' son Cambyses in 525 BC. He expanded the empire a little further past where his father had once done it. Okay? But Let's continue that.
Okay. Verse 9. Then wrote Rehum, the chancellor, and Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their companions, the Denites, the Aphrasathkites, the Tarpelites, and the Aparsites, and the Archabites, and the Babylonians, the Susanchites, and the Dehavites, and the Elamites.
So listen, this was all the territory damn near. The majority of the territory were companions of the people that wrote this against us. So this wasn't just one little separate province that had a problem with the construction of the temple. This was everybody in the territory. If you sit back here and look at the screen, you'll see Egypt is a province, Babylon is a province, Lydia is a province, which is present-day Turkey, Cilicia is a province, then you have Media, then you have Persia. They're all broken up in different provinces, and a lot of the names they were bringing out were people in the jurisdiction of the Neo-Babylonian territory. So the majority of the Hebrews' neighbors, not just people of Tyre and Zidon and Samaria, but also further east of Babylonian descent, sat back here and rubber stamped this letter about tearing down the character of the Jews. So pretty much we were confederate. The nations were confederate against us even back then, because they knew if we were in power, we would fall. The nations would fall. They also knew that. You can read that when you read the book of Judith, if I'm not mistaken, Judith 5. But anyway, let's continue.
Verse 10 says, and the rest of the nations whom the great and noble as Napar brought over and set in the cities of Samaria.
So you still get asked to get these different names for the leaders of the Assyrian Empire that took the northern kingdom and took them up to Assyria. Okay, so it's Asnapar, or it's Esarhaddon, it's Shalmaneser. They're all these different names for the same guy. So, read on.
And the rest that are on this side the river, and at such a time.
So he's like, on top of all these different countries, you're still wrapping in these Samaritan nations that have this beef. Read on.
Verse 11. This is the copy of the letter that they sent unto him, even unto Artaxerxes the king, thy servants, the men on this side the river, and at such a time, being known unto the king, that the Jews which came up from thee to us are come unto Jerusalem.
You're like, these Jews have come back to Jerusalem by your daddy. Your daddy sent them back. Read on.
Building the rebellious and the bad city.
He says, your father authorized the building of this bad and rebellious group of folks up in the territory. Read on.
And have set up the walls thereof.
He says, and they've co-signed, and they've authorized the walls to get rebuilt with this rebellious ass people.
Yeah.
The question is this: were they lying?
Nope.
Not one bit were they lying. That's the sad thing about it. He says these Jews are rebellious as hell. They don't pay their bills. They don't want to follow. They don't want to sit back here and pay their taxes. That's bill. They don't want to pay their taxes. They're stubborn. They think that they're above following orders. They think they're above following the mandates of the nation that conquered them.
Or their own king.
Who's that sound like?
Yeah.
Let's just deal. No, they didn't go into that. They just said they're rebellious to the other nations that were commissioned to be over them. They don't follow orders. They're constantly bucking up. They don't pay their taxes. I haven't read a lie yet. Do we? It's the truth. We can all explain about the wickedness of Esau and the white man this and the white... But if you're looking at it from another perspective, every other nation got to pay their debt. They got to pay their bills. They have to be in order. They have to lock in. Right or wrong. But us. That sounds like black folks to me. Esau will pay their taxes. They will pay their taxes. They will sit back here and pay their speeding tickets. Listen. The Jews pay their tickets out. The Jews, listen, that'd be 15 damn parking tickets in the damn glove compartment. I'm just gonna keep riding until I get my license suspended. Am I right or wrong? I will keep. Listen, then all of a sudden, well, why I gotta pay this insurance? This insurance is bullshit. Why I gotta pay insurance? That's no way the white man keeping me down. Okay, insurance is the devil. Tickets is a way the white man controls me. This is a system. It's oppression. Listen, is it oppression or is it a way to keep people from making bad decisions and killing people on the road? Listen, do you think that if you don't put these bills, these sets of laws in it, what's going to happen? There's going to be utter chaos. If you sit back here and think about the municipalities, it's necessary. It's necessary. Israel wants to be freed up. The Jew wants to be free. Am I right or wrong? This is not a lie. So, all the nations, and we got to keep it real, let Cambyses know how these Jews really do. Jews don't like order, they don't like bills, they don't like responsibilities. It's the truth. As a nation, as a whole, there's no lie in this letter. Start from the verse from the top.
Okay. Verse 12. Ezra chapter 4 and verse 12.
Salam everybody online. Hope everybody's doing well. Well, let's read this.
Okay. It says, be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are coming to Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city.
Because see, they're building a city because the walls are hard to fortify.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hard to penetrate. If you see like how the city is built together, so no, not this one. I don't have it on me right now. It shows that there's hills and valleys, and it's not easy to penetrate the land. So once these guys get set up, then their pride can rise up again.
You gotta listen to nobody.
And listen. I got to put a picture of it online so you can see it. Because listen, I love my people, and there's a lot of good in us. But you know what? If we're going to be honest, there's a lot of badness too. If we're going to be honest, there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of rebellion. And as you know, once we get comfortable, you can't tell us nothing. If you sit back here and look at the image online, you have these walls, but you have these deep canyons on the side where it's hard to sit back here and climb up on the sides. Even when General Titus and Vespasian's father took over Rome, they said, man, it was of the Lord that we did this. There was no other way it was going to get done, man. This was too damn hard. He said the Lord allowed us for this to happen.
That's crazy.
They acknowledged that. Because once these walls got reestablished, you couldn't tell us nothing. Just on a military front, it's not easy to overcome these walls. You have water, you can lock the water down so you'll have access to water for an extended period of time, which means the fortifications can last for longer stretches. So what these nations are saying is, these people are going to rebel against you, like they always have to every other nation that was above them from all the past and before. And we know that the Most High was with us on constant times when we took out the Assyrian Empire. At least Judah did. And how the Egyptians and the Ethiopians and the Hamites, they all fell to us. We were on the Most High side. So these Samaritans were hell-bent on keeping us from getting our opportunity, and they were explaining the worst of us and the worst of our characteristics to justify King Cambyses II to nix the building of the temple. So read on verse 12 again.
Ezra chapter 4 verse 12. Be it known unto the king that the Jews which came up from thee to us are coming to Jerusalem, building the rebellious and the bad city, and have set up the walls thereof, and joined the foundation.
He says they put the foundations up, and they're prepping the walls, and they're getting this city refortified.
And you can't tell them nothing once they
Well,
get
it's
struck.
going to say it. It's going to say it. They're already rebellious and a bad city. But why are they bad? Read on.
Verse 13. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be builded and the wall set up again.
If these walls are set up and they get their temple right, you ain't going to be able to tell them nothing. Now read on.
God. It says, be it known now unto the king that if this city be builded and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll?
Hell no. They ain't paying no tolls.
Extra money for what?
Listen, I'm already good now. We're good. There's no need to lock in. Listen, the Lord's word, we ain't got to follow nothing.
Nothing, man.
That's the point, huh?
Yeah.
And listen, the Josephus goes into detail we're going to go into also, but listen, man, this is us to the T.
Yeah.
We obey now because we got to obey. Listen, we pay the bills that you got to pay. Am I right or wrong?
God.
Listen, who wants to pay the Spectrum bill? Niggas don't pay Spectrum. You know what they do? They get the cable guy to hook up the damn back to get the little pirate account. What do you think that is? You're not paying toll. Am I right or wrong? That's Israel not paying toll. I've known Israel sit back here and get bogus insurance copies, bogus insurance forms out. You name it, Israel tries to circumvent things, right? Circumvent registration. I know Israel. I know guys who do that. Oh, you want to get registration for a cheap price? Just give me $30. I got you, man. Like, what? How's that happen? We're going to circumvent things as much as possible. Listen, there's Snickers and look, because we know it's true. Every one of y'all has done something pirated, has done some pirate shit out. How many of y'all, I ain't going to say name, how many of y'all got those damn fire sticks and start getting those hack jobs on those fire sticks out in Israel like a mug out? It's the truth, that.
Yeah.
That's Israel not paying their tolls, not paying their fare. I remember back in the day when I was a kid. Who did this, Who was able to watch the fights and the pay-per-view channels by putting a penny behind the damn those old boxes, There used to be old cable boxes like in the early 90s, where if you put something behind the button, it would jam the signal and you could see the screen, That was early 90s hustles, All I'm saying, is that Israel's always wired to like cheat angles, You know, then the most aren't we called supplanters?
Yeah.
The Jews are. That's the nice word. We yikwabbers. No, we like to sit back here and skip steps and not pay bills. That's what yikwab really means. We're wired to figure out how not to do things the right way. I'm just being honest, If we're being honest, this is what it is. Is this the truth? The truth is the Jews don't pay their tolls. Where's your hand at? What's up,
Or you might have that one family member, man, turn that hotspot on for me.
Brother, I know Jews that sit back here and use other people's water next door to get them squared away, I've seen that before, I've seen people steal other people's cable. I've seen that too. Electricity, cable. Those are all realities that somebody you know has done it or you yourself has done it. This is the nature of the Jew. Okay? So, they're not lying one bit when they say this. Now, is it ill-intended? Hell yeah, it's ill-intended. It's ill-intent. They're trying to destroy construction and keep that city from being built. Because if the Jews get fortified, the Samaritans are weakened.
Yep.
So that's why they're really doing it. But they're telling the truth. They're exploiting the Jews at their worst. But listen, the crazy thing is we didn't really get rebellious again until at the end when we were rebellious against the Romans. We had stayed in order from this time all the way into the Roman time. But let's read this. Read verse 13 again.
Ezra chapter 4, verse 13. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be builded and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom.
And listen, when you don't pay toll, you don't pay tribute, we don't pay customs, you can't keep a military fed. You can't keep a kingdom maintained. You can't keep an empire under control. So these tolls, these tributes, these customs are everything to a kingdom. Because all those taxes are spent and used to pay military, paid to feed the military.
Infrastructure too.
Infrastructure, your cities, your kingdom. It's all based on tribute. Okay? Somebody got to fall and be oppressed so that the conquering nation stays on top. And this is what we as a nation a lot of times can't accept. Life is always going to be hard. I complain too about it. Everything is a bill. Everything is a tax. Esau always wants more money out of your profit, and you can never get on top. Right or wrong? You look up, it seems like even when it's tax time, everybody's smiling because you got 3 kids. You're going to get money. Guess what happens? That money just pays off your credit cards and gets you back maybe to square one. So you can sit back and get back under again for the next year for the income tax to cover you and get you straight again. That's the truth. Right? And we hate that reality of existence. We hate that life. We hate the fact that we can never get on top. Right?
That's the curse.
That's the curses. But guess what? The whole world's under the curse. If you're not the leading empire, everybody's under the curse. The difference is the world accepts it and we don't. Because we're kings and princes. And because of that, we rebel. And then guess what happens? We sit back here and life gets harder and harder. What did Christ say? Render unto what?
Caesar, what is Caesar?
So what does that mean?
Follow
You can't find a hookup. Stop looking for the hookup. Stop looking for the hookup and pay your bills. That's what Christ said. Give unto Caesar what Caesar's. Pay your insurance.
Yeah.
Israel is the king of not paying insurance. They're the king of it. It's the truth. Or we're going to pay that minimum, what do you call that damn thing? That liability act. Israel's the king of liabilities act. We're going to get liability full. I ain't doing that shit. Hell no. You don't pay no full insurance.
Throw money away.
Shit, I'm blowing money. Is this a white man can make money? That's always the answer.
Make him happy, yeah.
Listen, that's the point. And Most High said, pay your bills, man. Pay your, all that devil talk is cool until you get wrecked, until you get a car wreck. There's all the spirits are against me. The spirits. Is it the spirits? Or is it there is a high probability with a million cars in a row that guess what, you might get hit. And yeah, you're paying this for 3 years in a row. But you know what? The year 4, you might get into an accident. So it's important to have insurance paid for.
I just got insurance back again. I'm so glad.
and I've heard brothers get it. I've seen brothers get into accidents and they try to sit there and call the insurance company to get it retroactively. Yeah, I want to get it back. Like, okay. Well, okay, we're going to start it on today. No. It was cool. People want to always push it back so they can get the insurance in time of before the accident. I've seen brothers do that before. We're always trying to cut corners. That's us. Instead of just paying our bills, and the bills are a reflection that you're a servant. When you're sitting back here and you only have enough to pay your bills, guess what? You are in captivity. And that's a reminder of it. But we want to get free. We want to get out of the rat race. The Most High's got you in the rat race. We don't really accept the truth about things. About ourselves, about our life, about what the Most High's got us in. Either we're going to sit back here and be debt slaves, or we're going to be slaves. Can we appreciate the fact that we're not slaves?
Be a debt slave versus a slave.
That's the point. We don't look at life that way. We don't look at it that way. We want to complain about every condition we're in. It is better to be a debt slave than a slave. Who wants to sit back here? Listen, right now I got a bad back. What would happen if I had a bad back and I had a cotton to pick? What would happen?
Still gotta get out there.
That's my point. I'm complaining about battles and all my battles. Like, listen. What would happen if I had a bad back and I got to pick cotton and bend down all them day long? And you ever saw the movies where you ever have a certain weight or you don't get beat?
Nasty.
You had to get a certain amount of cotton, or you're dead. How are you going to pick cotton with a bad back? These are real things you don't think about. Because you don't got to think about them. Because you know the Most High got your back. You just can't get on top like you want. Why am I even driving this point? Because we're very ungrateful. And we choose not to see how the Most High has constantly loaded us with benefits, even though we're in hell still. We are in hell. I'm not knocking that reality. But the problem with the Jew is that we want to complain about a condition that we put ourselves in. Even when we read about how some of the old men saw that the temple was smaller than it once was, we were crying about it. You know what? This is what happens when we're rebellious. You think he's going to rebuild us at the same level we once were? Right off rip? No. So anyway, let's go back to verse 13, talking about these bad Jews with this bad city. Read on.
Ezra chapter 4 verse 13. Be it known now unto the king that if this city be builded and the wall set up again, then will they not pay toll, tribute, and custom, and so thou shalt damage the revenue of the king.
Exactly. The revenue, the money, is what keeps the empire flowing. Okay?
And plus, the kings also make bad financial choices on their own. They're not always good managers of money, and they put a lot of expenses on wars that are unnecessary or construction projects that are unnecessary. And so now that they're broke, they're looking at where am I get this money from? Then they start looking at alcohol. They ain't paying me right. They start getting mad.
One way or the other, whether you're managing it right or not, the tolls got to get paid.
Yeah.
Now, if there's mismanagement, there's additional fees. Either way, the tolls got to get paid because that's what the vanquished is. I don't know if y'all realize this. Adam might know this. When did the Germans stop paying reparations for the Holocaust?
In the 90s?
The 90s, bro. 50 years after World War II is when they stopped paying debts. 50 years. They were paying out not just
interest.
It was the interest on the monies, and they had to keep paying the United States, Britain. You have to pay all their costs. When you lose, you have to pay all of the winners' costs for the battle that they fought. They gave up all this territory, Germany did, and they had to sit back here and pay back the cost that the United States and Britain and the Allies had to come out of pocket for their war.
It's fairly recent, too.
50 years of debt? You're out of pocket 50 plus years because you took an L in the 40s.
You better not lose.
Well, that's the whole point. But that is the cost of war. But who pays that cost? The people pay that cost. The common people pay that cost in taxes. Come on. So when this country loses, guess who's gonna pay for it? We pay out of pocket. That's life, bro. But too many times we don't accept these conditions. Okay? So, let's continue. Give me verse 14.
Verse 14. It says, now because we have maintenance from the king's palace, and it was not meet for us to see the king's dishonor, therefore have we sent and certified the king.
So this is, we want to make sure we told you, King, what's going on out of respect to you and what you're trying to build. They knew they weren't going to be able to sway Cyrus this way because the Spirit had worked with him to get this ball rolling, but the Spirit hadn't hit Cambyses. So let's go to Cambyses a second and petition him to get this done, knowing Cambyses was building a campaign to overthrow Egypt anyway. So when you're on a major campaign to take out a country, you need all the extra tolls and revenues and taxes possible. So they're going to take out Egypt. They don't have time to be hoping that these damn Jews pay their bills in time. You got your hand up? Somebody? Yeah.
Cambyses was he a ruler of Persia?
Yes.
Okay. Got it.
Yes. We're talking about Persia.
Got
It was King Cyrus, Cambyses II, then it was King Darius I. Then we sat back here after him. It was Xerxes and then Artaxerxes. Okay, so read on.
Verse 15. It says, that search may be made in the book of the records of thy fathers. So shalt thou find in the book of the records and know that this city is a rebellious city.
So we say, if you look at all the records of your kingdom, you will have a beat and understanding of the history of the Jews and all the other people of the other countries. The other countries, listen, they follow. They obeyed. We're the thorn of everybody's side. And that sounds like us. Can you imagine Judah and Benjamin with money out? You can't tell them nothing. You couldn't tell Judah and Benjamin with a crown they head out. Either they listening out. And they got fortified walls. Judah ain't listening to nothing. So he says they have a history of not listening. It says, look at the records. It's proof. It ain't just opinion.
Yeah.
He says, and know that this city is a rebellious city. Read on.
And hurtful unto kings and provinces.
Listen, they be hurting kings and provinces. They always stressing them out.
Yeah.
Think about King Nebuchadnezzar. He said, listen, man, follow me. Yeah, I will. 3 years later, you don't pay the bill. I'm coming every 3 years for the money. You don't got the money for me.
No.
Then I take this guy out, throw him over the damn wall, say, I'm putting you in charge. You gonna listen to me? Yes, I will. And then all of a sudden, 12 years later, I ain't paying your bills no more. Okay, I gotta take this guy out. It's constant rebellion. We're the bane in these nations' existence. Read on that.
And that they have moved.
When can we receive payment?
It's in the mail, bro. It's in the mail, G. I sent a man out there for you. It's in the mail, it's on the way. Yeah. Listen, we don't pay bills until the pink slip comes in. Let's be real, You see that regular white sheet?
Oh, whatever, man.
Listen, you don't take shit serious until there's cut-off notices.
Disconnection.
You don't even take it serious until there's disconnection. Then you get the disconnection notice, then you call me, then you make a phone calls to push it back. That's the game, That's the game, All the time. Then you see the saws man coming to cut the water off. Then you still hold up. There is a reason that the saws man comes to cut the water off on Friday. I understand exactly why they do that. Why do I listen? You have to learn, man. You have to feel how it is to have no water for the weekend, B. Because by the time they cut you off,
party's over.
They're like, hold on. I'm ready to pay now. I'm ready to pay. And why are you ready to pay now that the water's off? Why couldn't you pay a day ago? You got those 800 calls, those 1-800 numbers, and you just avoid it. Because when you get them 1-877s and 1-866s, you know those are bills. And you just say, you know what? I don't want to listen to this. And all of a sudden, the water's cut off. Well, hold on, we got to cut it back on. I demand the water's cut on. I made the payment. Well, we're going to see if our guy, after his routes, has time to come back to cut it on. And most of the time, they don't have it. And then you got to wait till Monday. Then you're angry as hell.
Mid-Monday.
Then you're still stealing your neighbor's water. You're getting the 5-gallon water containers out just to survive. This is reality in Israel's households. Why does he got to get you when lights are getting cut off and water's cut off? Because you don't want to pay it. Half the time there's money in the bank, you just don't want to do it. Am I right or wrong? Because that's your drink money. That's your weekend money. It's either going to be the bills or your party money.
Good time.
I can't go to the club. I can't stunt without no money. In Israel, a lot of times we sit back here and we pay after things. We're so reactionary when it comes to money. You just got to cut things off. They got to threaten you. You got to get 5 calls a day before you pay your cell phone out. You don't take the cell phone bill serious until you hear that bump, 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 bump.
This person doesn't want to call their bill. Call them and tell them you see them. Please pay.
You sit back here, what's wrong with the phone? The phone, I can't call out. At least the white man was smart enough. We're like, okay, we won't let them call, or they can text him. That's the first way they start breaking you. You can receive text. but you cannot call. Then you sit back here, like, damn it! God, I got to make this payment. This is us, huh? This is us. Everybody, all your nations know I got to pay my bills on time. I got to be responsible. I don't want to be a dirtbag in society. It's the truth. The rest of the world scoffs at living like that. Oh, have you seen the nations? They want to pay their bills. They want to be responsible. They want to do their job. Yes.
So you say Cambyses needed
All kings need their money. Yes.
and just to take down Egypt?
Not just to take down Egypt, but it helped. When you're in war, you need all the monies you can.
Okay, so since the Jews weren't doing that, so he had a reason to...
They didn't do anything yet. They're just, you got to hear me out. What's happening is the Samaritans are saying, these people, if you keep paying and financing to build this kingdom up, once they're set, they're going to not listen anymore. And you're going to lose the money, you're going to lose the resources from these people once they're comfortable.
They're going to switch on you.
They're going to switch on you. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
And they're like, and so he's like, I'm listening to this. He's listening to this, and now they're like, look at the books, look at your records and history, and you'll see the same thing.
And they're right.
They're completely right. They're completely right. They even said in Josephus that we had a history of being tyrants, which is true also. Listen, our people with money, you can't tell them nothing, even to our own people. We oppress our own people. This is why the Most High, it's sad to say, we had 80 years on top of it. That's all we were mature enough to handle. 80 years in power. That's horrible. These guys had a 200-year reign. Babylonians had 70. They had 200. The Greeks had close to 3. No. Yeah, close to 300 years. And the Romans had longer. We couldn't handle power and responsibility. That's what that shows me. We couldn't handle power. We couldn't allocate power. We weren't mature enough as a nation to handle being on top. And it shows in our history. So, let's read verse 15, the middle of it again.
In the middle of the context.
And know that this city.
Yeah. It says, and know that this city is a rebellious city and hurtful unto kings and provinces, and that they have moved sedition within the same of old time.
He says they have moved sedition within the same of old time. From the beginning, we've been seditious. Yes.
Who were they reading, like the book of Judges?
Not just judges. Listen. Listen. If you're looking from the outside looking in, we were seditious towards the Egyptians. We were rebellious towards them. Everywhere we've gone, we've been seditious. And the rest of the world has history of how the world has evolved. Our rebellion started in Egypt.
Right.
And then we came in and was rebellious in Canaan. Kicked out the people of Canaan. Then we sat back here and rebelled against the Syrians. Rebelled against the Assyrians. Rebelled against everybody. Every kingdom we've rebelled against. Yes.
You know what's crazy? How it's on that point with how they have the records of us.
Yeah.
That's crazy how the whole world knows. Like, you know what I'm saying? They know how to know.
They know.
That's crazy.
Because the nations like to read and study.
Yeah.
We don't like to read and study.
That's why the Most High cursed that one king. Because he said, you didn't read and study?
Yeah.
It was required. You already know you're supposed to be on top.
That was the last king of Babylon. Khan. And that was their nation. That was their nature to study and read and understand how the world operates. Well, let's continue.
It says, for which cause was this city destroyed?
Khan.
Verse 16. We certify the king that if this city be builded again, and the walls thereof set up by this means, thou shalt have no portion on this side the river.
He says, you're going to lose your entire western flank. You're going to lose your entire western flank. That river that they're talking about is obviously that the river that separates, whether it's the Tigris or the Euphrates. So you're going to lose all your power on the west of the Euphrates if you don't subject these people soon. Because they're going to get in power and they're going to take over this western flank of your jurisdiction. That's what they're saying. Read on.
Verse 17.
Now that's kind of overboard, but they're trying to strike fear into this man to make an extreme decision to shut us down. Read on.
Verse 17. Then sent the king an answer unto Rehum, the chancellor, and to Shimshai, the scribe, and to the rest of their companions that dwelt in Samaria, and unto the rest beyond the river. Peace, and at such a time.
So he says, everybody that's west of the Euphrates, peace. Because that was obviously the letter came from every country and city and higher level province west of the Euphrates. Read on.
The letter which ye sent unto me, unto us, have been plainly read before me.
I read it all. Read on.
And I command and search have been made, and it is found that this city of old time have made insurrection against kings.
He's like, you were right. These Jews have not followed ever. Read on.
And that rebellion and sedition have been made therein.
Since the time of Egypt, they have not locked in. Hell, even Abraham barely locked in to Abimelech back in the land of Canaan. Read on.
Verse 20. There have been mighty kings also over Jerusalem, which have ruled over all countries beyond the river.
And he says these Jews, David, Solomon, ruled beyond the river. Read on.
And toll, tribute, and custom was paid unto them.
He says when they were on top, when the Jews were on top, the nations obeyed and paid toll. Moab paid toll. Syria paid toll. Tyre and Zidon paid toll. Philistia paid toll. Edom paid toll. He says when y'all were in power, the Jews were in power, everybody else obeyed. Read on.
Verse 21.
But when you're in power, you don't pay your toll. I'm sorry, when you're out of power, when you're the vanquished, you don't pay, you don't obey. Read on. You know what it says? The Jews are one way.
Yeah.
And you know what we are. Let's continue.
Verse 21. Give ye now commandment to cause these men to cease, and that this city be not builded, until another commandment shall be given from me.
Now listen. The Samaritans and the people west of the river Euphrates, they accomplished the mission that they set out to establish. Listen, they weren't lying in what they were saying about the Jews' history. But it didn't mean that they were right.
Yeah.
Scripturally, we're going to read about how Satan got in the way of the construction of the temple.
Go.
Satan did get in the way, and the Most High was going to make us fight. Listen, even though Cyrus opened the door for construction, nothing in life is that easy.
Nope.
You're not going to sit back and get shipped back to your own nation without having to fight and rely on the Heavenly Father and earn the gift and reward. What the Most High does for us historically, He'll open the door for an opportunity, and then you have to fight and have faith and dedicate your life to making sure that that opportunity comes to fruition.
He's going to get his glory.
So right now, the tables are set to shut down all construction. Now, for the last 6 years, from 536 to 530, construction had been stopped or halted or just slowed down, I should say, with different paperwork and political issues.
Bureaucracy.
Now with bureaucracy. Now we're in 529 BC with Cambyses. And Cambyses is saying, we're going to shut down all construction. We're going to shut down monies. We're going to shut down all the building fund. Construction is shut down kaput. Let's continue.
God, verse 22. Take heed now that ye fail not to do this. Why should damage grow to the hurt of the kings?
He said, why should we have to circumvent damage to the empire? We're going to shut down construction for the sake of salvaging continuity in the empire. Keep these guys humble. Keep them serving. Keep them in the right mindset. Continue.
Verse 23. Now when the copy of King Artaxerxes' letter was read before Rehum and Shimshai, the scribe, and their companions, they went up in haste to Jerusalem unto the Jews, and made them to seize by force and power.
So they sat back here and obviously came with a military showing. And they sat back here and read the decree and said, listen, man, this is going to be shut down. Construction is shut down by order of King Cambyses. It's shut down immediately. Okay, so construction in the temple, construction in Jerusalem was immediately shut down. Read on.
Verse 24. Then seized the work of the house of the Most High, which is at Jerusalem. So it ceased unto the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia.
So now they're saying construction ceased into the 2nd year of King Darius, king of Persia. King Darius was the 3rd king of Persia. So let's count the numbers up. Construction was being slowed down through bureaucracy from 536 BC to 530. That's 6 years. Then you get, when Cambyses comes into power, he reigned from 529 to 522. So that's approximately 7 years. So 7 years plus 6 years is how many years? 13. Then it says construction doesn't get restarted until the 2nd year of King Darius. 13 plus 2 is 15. So 15 years of the construction on ice. And all we had was a foundation slab and an altar. So this is what's happening as we're trying to build and rebuild the temple in the name of the Most High. There's negative opposing factors getting in the way of progress and growth. And this is why, for all the camps out there that are still trying to build schools, still trying to build congregations the old-fashioned way, you're going to always face this fight in building. You're going to always face this fight with construction costs and financing and the money's necessary to build up your school and your program. That's going to always be there because that's the cost of what it takes to build something that's going to last. If you want something to build, something that's going to build to last, you're going to have to fight for it. You're going to have to dedicate yourself for it. You and everybody that's part of that congregation has to commit their life to that building. And just for those who are out there trying to still make that happen, don't get discouraged. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. And it's important to read these kind of chapters because the things written before time are written for your learning. It took 15 years to get construction going back again.
And technically, how long should it have taken if there was nothing?
Couple years at the most. Because it didn't take long once construction got going. It said construction was completed. Well, I can't say that. It said construction was completed in 515. So if Cambyses got out of power in 522, and it said Darius, the construction started 2 years into Darius's reign. That's 520. So it still took 5 more years to get all the construction completed before everything was assembled and done right. So it still takes many years. So that's really, you're looking at 20 years of fighting before the temple is completed again. Maybe you should have took 5 from the beginning in its totality. But it lets you know how the Most High makes you wait to sit back and build the things you want spiritually. And things aren't going to just come easy when you're developing and giving your life to something. Even when you have good intentions, it takes a long time to see the reward from it. So don't get weary in well-doing. Don't get discouraged in brothers' pushes to do good spiritual things. Okay? It takes time. So, we're going to let that verse go. Somebody, okay.
What happened in 515?
Huh?
What happened in 515?
You got to listen to me. You got to take notes. You got to kind of catch up. 515 is when the temple got rebuilt. You got it rebuilt in 515. But let's keep going. Let's sit back here. I want to first go to Matthew 5 and 45 real quick. Matthew 5 and 45.
It's a good lesson. We do expect sometimes when we have good intentions, things are supposed to just
The Spirit's supposed to open up.
naturally open up.
That's not how life is, man. Listen, when you want something spiritual, it takes longer than the process it takes to get the carnal. It's easier to go get the carnal process easy. You can go get something carnal. Hustle, do what you got to do some sideways stuff out, and get what you want in the flesh.
Yeah.
But if you want something done spiritually, it takes longer. That's the lesson. Let's read Matthew 5 and 45.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 45. That ye may be the children of your Father, which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil
He
and
says
on
the
the
sun
good.
rises on the evil and the good. So listen, a negative person going to get hooked up. A negative person, good happens to him too. Everyone's like, why does the wicked prosper? Why? It's not fair. Why does he get what he wants and I can't? This is what the Bible says. Everybody, why, Jesus? This is not fair. I am jealous. They don't want to say that, but that's what it is. The carnal man's like, why does this guy get to be a dirtbag and get what he wants? But I got to sit back here and wait 5 times as long to get it done. These are the lessons that give us the understanding. The Most High going to give the carnal man what he wants. And he blesses us. He blesses the good man and the evil man. But read on.
Okay. It says, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
Listen, the problem is when we have rain on us, we're like line of sight. We get sad when the rain's on that side. Because our mind is so fatalistic, we're always like, it's always raining on my side of town. Huh? It's always raining. We don't realize the Most High gives you good too. No, that's not true. It's all bad for me. It's all sorrows. You got to ask yourself, do you sit back here? Can you acknowledge in your life the Most High is giving you good? He's giving you sun and rain. There's a lot of quiet. There's a lot of silence in the building in our school life. Because I don't think everybody believes the Most High has given each and every one of us fair amounts of sun and rain. And I don't think we believe that. Because if we did, we'd be a lot more at peace with our conditions.
Next to stiff neck.
What's that?
Scripture says stiff neck is right. We're supposed to be down the hill like, yeah, the Most High's come through.
It's like my neck's not letting me go do this.
Let me do it.
My neck's not letting me nod. It's too tight. It's something keeping my neck from going down. I have a crook in my neck. I have like 2 crooks in my neck. I can't move that. I can't agree with this. I can't agree with this statement. My neck won't let me. These are facts. Yes, I might.
I say that the Most High, it's a good reason that he does that. Most of us notice we get things handed to us or get it easier, or don't take as much. We always expect that. But when we get it that way, it's not appreciated.
We don't appreciate it. That's my point. We'll be doing idolatry in 2 minutes if we didn't have to sit back here and fight 20 years for this. We'll be back proud as hell.
When the Red Sea split?
And same thing with that building. If it was as big as Solomon did it, we'd sit back here, you couldn't tell us nothing. Guess who made the temple the greatest looking and the most potent looking? Under whose leadership was the temple made the biggest and best? No,
Sir.
Herod.
Yeah.
The white man made it the biggest.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Big boy.
The white man with Roman money made it bigger and better.
Than Solomon?
I'm going to say this. I wasn't physically there. But I'm going to say this. But they said Herod made it bigger and more potent. I'm going to say this. We can sit back here and be, the white man thumbs down. Okay, bro, I get it. But I tell you what time it didn't look fire. 515 BC. When we did it, it wasn't on point then. Am I going to say that Solomon skimped on any level? No, he didn't. It was probably more gold. It was probably, I'm going to say this, it was more honorable. But the scale was bigger when Herod did it. How about that? The scale was bigger.
Yeah.
Size, Just the size of it and the scale of it was bigger under his reign because he expanded the actual temple area, so it was bigger then. But maybe probably not with gold and precious items. No. Yes, sir.
Did the Most High dwell there in the same capacity?
No.
Exactly.
No. You're not gonna catch me. You're not gonna catch me saying I never said it was more spiritual. I never said the temple was more spiritual and more holy, because that's not true. But on a larger scale, it was twice. It was twice the spectacle it was in 515.
The Romans always built to scale.
There you go, and that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's better in a spiritual sense. I can't. You're not gonna put me in that corner, Ricky Bobby. That's not happening. They can put that evil on me at. Okay.
Wait, one point real quick.
Where yeah.
It's Josephus, page 435. It's a little quick point.
On what? On what?
On Herod in his building.
Okay.
All right. But as for his other benefits, it is impossible to reckon them up. Those which he bestowed on cities, both in Syria and in Greece, and in all the places he came to in his voyages, for he seems to have conferred that after a most plentiful manner that would minister to many necessities and the building of public works. Basically, he really got off to decking things out. He got off to decking the theater and roads, anything under his responsibility, he decked it out. Okay. He put his spirit
into it. He put his spirit into it, and he had the finances and the backing by the Romans to do so. Go to Job 2 and 10 real quick. This is back on the topic about just the experience of having to wait 20 years to regain a similitude of stability in Jerusalem. Read that real quick. Job 2 and 10.
Job chapter 2 and verse 10. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaking.
Because this is Job's wife told Job just to curse the Most High and die in the middle of his affliction after he had lost his children and his family and a lot of his savings and finances and monies. Read on.
What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High?
Listen, Job was like, should we receive good by the Most High and not evil? It's the same thing with the Jews getting sent or allowed to leave their captivities and rebuild in Jerusalem. Spiritually, that's still a blessing. Even though we weren't able to rebuild at the level and capacity that we would have wanted, we're going to sit back here and poo-poo on the idea that the Most High blessed us at that level and gave us a chance to rebuild. You're going to get good, but you can't sit back and expect life to be all good. Read on.
Right. So what? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High, and shall we not receive evil?
This is the reality. We're going to sit back, everything's going to work out the way we want? No. We had an opportunity to come back and rebuild. Now, the evil is you have to wait to see the fruition of it. Yeah. That's the evil. But you know what the truth is? We deserve a little suffering. We deserve it. We sat back here and spit on the Most High's face. Why do we expect the next generation or the third generation after that to just sit back here and comfortably get back into their situation? Right. This is us too.
You're right. We just had we went through Jeremiah and his
yes, we just got out of it.
We just saw how it was held. The upper echelon of Israel, the elite of Israel, were really dirtbags to the people,
and the people were wicked too.
Yeah,
the whole group was wicked. Remember, Moses said, "The ones that stay, they're evil figs. The ones that leave are good figs." They were all, but when they're crazy, they were only good figs because they were more salvageable than the ones that stayed. What's my point? The point is that, listen, he's like, you think the two generations after that are going to have it easy? It's just like slavery. Our people were wicked. That's why we got sent to slavery. But that particular generation where the Moses said, you know what, I'm putting the hammer on y'all, I'm breaking y'all. Y'all going to feel the brunt of my force. We still have to accept that we now experience the after effects of our ancestors' wickedness. And I don't think we really sit back here and come to grips with that reality. We are still suffering the after effects of our rebelliousness. of our nation's rebelliousness. It is the end. What's that?
Yeah, I was about to ask that. That was good.
But the end don't mean we ain't suffering still. When the end happens, we're back in power. So we're on the tail end of our captivity. I just don't think we understand that we're still in captivity. And in captivity, you don't have the control you want. You don't have the freedom that you want. You're not going to have the life, the comfortable life that you expect. If you're serving the Heavenly Father, even Job is telling his wife, in the process of serving the Heavenly Father, do you think you're going to sit back here and suffer or just get all good and no evil? But this is how we act. Just like Job's wife. We want all good because we follow the laws and commandments. Because we follow the laws and commandments, you know what that means we're eligible for? Now you're in the now you have access to the tools you need to get closer to me. So that when you're going through your battle, you can learn through the scriptures how to navigate through your captivity. How to navigate through the parts in your life that you don't think is fair. How to keep proper spiritual perspective through the disadvantages that come from not having control in your own life. Read on in verse 10 in Job.
Job chapter 2 and verse 10. But he said unto her, Thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh. What? Shall we receive good at the hand of the Most High? And shall we not receive evil? In all this, did not Job sin with his lips?
How? He says Job didn't sin with his lips. That means Job didn't complain. Job didn't complain about his conditions.
Wow.
So when we complain about our conditions, we are what with our lips?
Sinning with
We're
our lips.
sinning with our lips.
That's crazy, bro.
We're sinning with our lips when we complain about our conditions. When we sit back here and look at our balance and ratio of good to bad, and we say it's more bad than good, that's sin. Because this is what Job is saying. Listen, the Most High has blessed me with many things. Now I'm going to sit back here and be mad that I've lost these things? No, don't forget. Everything the Most High gave him, he did what? He took away from him initially. The only thing he left was the rib that's complaining to him, telling him he should leave and quit and give up on his outlook. That's the only person he kept. He lost his money, his finance that he was building. He lost his children. He lost servants. He lost cattle. He lost everything that he built. Wow. He lost. And he's like, listen, I can't look at life in a negative outlook. The Most High is given, he's taken away. I can't sit back and say, okay, how can the Most High took everything that he gave me that was good? You're not allowed to operate in that mindset. And if you look at it from a carnal perspective, he got brought back down to square one, to nothing. And he still said, that's not a loss.
But for the flesh,
think about that.
Come.
He said, my life isn't a loss. But he got brought back down to where he was literally at a carnal stalemate, at zero again. And he said, man, Most High is giving me a lot of good. So I can't sit back here and be negative about it. I have to accept that with good comes loss too. That's something that we have to learn to navigate through if we want to stay pure in our thinking. If we want to avoid sin. And this is why the Most High don't bless us. Because we're still sinning every day with a negative outlook. Crazy thing is we're sinning with a negative outlook. We want the Most High to send us blessings, even though we're sinning with a negative outlook.
Can I pull this right here?
Yes, but I just want to make sure I'm clear. I want to make sure we're clear. If I'm complaining about my condition, that means I'm sinning.
With my lips.
We'll tell ourselves I'm following along, I'm keeping the Shabbat. The Shabbat is kept. I wear fringes every day. I read Bible, I go to class whenever class is open. If you're complaining about your condition, you're still sinning. What you gonna say?
That's amazing. James 4:17.
James chapter 4 verse 17.
Slow it down real quick.
Do it.
All right.
James chapter 4 verse 17. Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good.
I know I'm supposed to maintain a certain perspective. And we're trained almost every class to erect this certain type of spiritual positive perspective.
And what's the perspective? Most High has given me more good than bad. And with all the bad that I've gotten, the Most High has given me just as much or more good. Yes.
So is it sin in the fact that I guess we keep a wicked balance in our mind?
Yeah. Because the sin is, I don't believe the Most High is fair. How can you listen without faith is what?
Impossible.
You can't please the Most High if I don't believe that the Most High. No, yeah, but it's faithful. But it says that He will love. He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek after it. If I don't believe the Most High has been there for me and requited good to me and has given me evil, if I can't accept that condition, I really can't even begin to learn how the Most High operates. Yes.
You go right back to that murmuring.
Avoid murmurings and disputings. Because listen, whether it's to men, listen, he that despiseth not man, but Most High. So if I'm murmuring against my Lord or the person over me or my condition, I'm really murmuring against the Most High. I'm murmuring against my boss. Who am I murmuring against? The Most High. Listen, whoever I'm under, I'm subject to that person in that situation. And the Most High's got me in this situation to learn, to be humble. And if I can't be at peace with my condition, that means I'm angry at the Heavenly Father. If I'm angry at the Heavenly Father, how can the Most High teach me anything? He can't. If I can't see that the Most High is giving me good and giving me bad, and everybody's balance is right, Scripture talked about, I don't have it off the top of my head, about how the Most High is giving everybody a just, fair balance. And that just, fair balance is everybody's been given and distributed a fair balance of good conditions and evil conditions.
For their life.
In their life. Everybody's condition is fair. But I can bet you many people was like, I beg to differ. I know there's a lot of people say, I object to that statement here. I don't see it that way. Most people think of that, and that's the number one reason why they're disconnected from the Heavenly Father and why their faith is low. Because if I can't see the good in the Heavenly Father, I can't start building in faith. It's impossible. It's impossible to please Him without faith. I can't have faith unless I know that if I do what the Most High blesses me. That whole thing is psychological. If I do the right thing, the Most High's with me. And if He's not giving me what I want, I also have to understand that evil is built to build me up too. Isn't that what Joshua said? That evil that my brothers intended to hurt me on was really what was necessary to develop my spirit.
Yeah, so
It was Genesis 50 or 50 or something up there.
Joseph.
What did I say?
He said Joshua.
Joseph, Slakia.
Joseph.
But it's still Joseph and his brothers. He had the capacity to see that me being sold to slavery, which was an evil thing, really was a good thing. Do we have the capacity to realize even when evil is brought on our doorsteps? Evil brought to our doorsteps is an opportunity for us to cleave closer to Him. You can do nothing against the truth before the truth. But that's all based on your perspective. All right.
Can I confess the scripture?
Yep.
Can you read it again?
Come. James chapter 4 and verse 17.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good.
I know I'm supposed to maintain a certain perspective. Because Israel in the wilderness kept the Shabbat.
Yeah.
But they did not keep the righteous perspective. Read.
It says, therefore to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not,
Read.
to him it is sin.
It is sin because I'm not keeping my spiritual training. I'm not maintaining what I was taught to maintain.
And that goes beyond the letter of the law. We've gone into class, not this last Monday, but the Mondays before, understanding what the law was about. What was the understanding of the law? You can get caught into the minutiae of the law, which is right, You're supposed to follow the technical, don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. But you also got to understand what the spirit of the law is trying to teach you. And how the spirit of the law puts you in the spirit of humility. And to learn to accept conditions that are out of your control. You really can't follow the law until you understand the conditions of your life. You have to follow from the same humble perspective that it takes to actually follow the law every day. Because you can go through all the laws, 60% of the law you believe, the other 40% goes contrary to your nature. Right or wrong. And when those laws go contrary to your nature, you have to be humble to submit to those other aspects of the law that you don't agree with. And if I understand that I have to accept, I'm going to humbly adjust myself in these arenas, in these laws, I also have to humbly accept that my conditions are the way they are because this is what pleases the Father. If you can't figure that out, you really don't understand what the law was about. Yes, Karai.
I was going to say, so for us knowing to do good is the same thing as if we know that we're here and we gotta suffer for righteousness' sake, but we don't do it, it's a sin. That's how
Yes.
I also. That's
Not being willing to lose so that others gain is sin because you know it's needed.
or accept it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point. Most of us do it, but we do it grudgingly. But we're just awestruck or frustrated as to why the Most High grudgingly blesses us. He grudgingly blesses us because we don't accept the conditions of our life. We say we want to be Bible teachers.
Yeah.
We say we want to be prophets and teachers, but we don't understand that being a prophet and a teacher, you have to give your life for the sick. I always go back to Jeremiah, bro. Jeremiah could have lived in luxury in Babylon and chilled out. He stayed in those slums with crazy Israelites that didn't want to follow the law. Do you want to sit back here and live your golden years with a bunch of head cases that don't want to change?
Yeah, I gotta pull one scripture on the same point. I'm gonna bring the end of it. Romans 14:23.
We got to get back on
It
top
says,
of it.
"For whatsoever is not of faith is sin. Whatsoever is not of faith is sin." It says, "He that doubteth is damned if he eat, because he eateth not of faith. For whatsoever is not of faith is sin." If it's not come from that spiritual perspective, that's positive, righteous with the Father, seeing the Most High in the best light. If I'm seeing the Most High out of anything other than the best light, then it's going to cause me to sin.
Yeah. And that's the point. But that is all based on accepting your conditions. Accepting the condition the Lord's got you going. Anyway, I think we got to get back on topic. Listen, like I need you to stay. But if I got Adam, it's cool. We'll finish it up. Adam, let's get going. It's still not responding, bro. I know. So, oof. It's killing me still, bro. Hold on, sir. Okay, go for it, sir.
Adam Shaw Shabbatah, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala.
Adam, Shaw Shabbatah, Ban Yahawada, Ban Yasharala. I imagine. Up. Yahweh Hashem Hashem Ketah.
Yahweh Shem Yoshabrakatam.
All right, that's what's up. Okay. We went through and we talked about Job. Now listen, real quick, we're gonna do a little well, not yet. Let's do this. Let's read First Ezra chapter 2, verse 16 through 30. First Ezra chapter 2, verse 16 through 30. Then we're gonna go into some Josephus. It kind of recaps what we just read, but from the Apocryphal perspective and Josephus' perspective. Let's do this. First Ezra chapter 2, verse 15.
First Ezra chapter 2 and verse 15. These were brought back by Shunabazar, together with them of the captivity from Babylon to Jerusalem.
Okay.
But in the time of Artaxerxes, king of the Persians,
Once again, this Artaxerxes is not talking about Artaxerxes in history. That was the son of Xerxes. Yes. This is talking about Cambyses II. Read on.
but in the time of Artaxerxes, king of the Persians, Belimus and Mithridates and Tibelius and Rethmus and Baal Temas and Semelius, the secretary, with others that were in commission with them, dwelling in Samaria and other places, wrote unto him against them that dwelt in Judea and Jerusalem these letters following. To King Artaxerxes, our Lord, thy servants, Rathmus, the story writer, and Semelius, the scribe, and the rest of their council, and the judges that are in Cilicia,
Yes, Celesyria and Phoenicia.
Celesyria and Phoenicia.
Phoenicia is Tyre and Zidon, and Celesyria is really the Levant. Is that entire jurisdiction that was in, I guess, Philistia, Edom, Moab, Syria, the Amorites, the whole nine. Read on.
Be it now known to the Lord King that the Jews that are up from you to us, being come into Jerusalem, that rebellious and wicked city, do build the marketplaces and repair the walls of it and do lay the foundation of the temple.
So once again, this is the Phoenicians, the Celesyrians, the Samaritans, writing to King Cambyses II about trying to halt construction based on their rebellion over the years. Let's continue.
Now, if this city and the walls thereof be made up again, they will not only refuse to give tribute, but also rebel against kings. And for as much as the things pertaining to the temple are now in hand, we think it meet not to neglect such a matter, but to speak unto our Lord the King, to the intent that, if it be thy pleasure, it may be sought out in the books of thy fathers. And thou shalt find in the chronicles written, Salakia, and thou shalt find in the chronicles that it is written concerning these things, and shalt understand that that city was rebellious, troubling both kings and cities, and that the Jews were rebellious, and raised always wars therein, for the which cause even this city was made desolate. Wherefore now we do declare unto thee, O Lord.
And they said that city that they were writing from, which was Samaria, that was even made desolate because the northern kingdom tribes refused to even pay the Syrian kings, or the Assyrian king. I'm sorry, the northern kingdom tribes didn't pay the Assyrian kings, and that's why the northern kingdom had to fall also. Well, let's continue.
Wherefore now we do declare unto thee, O Lord the King, that if this city be built again, and the walls thereof set up anew, thou shalt from henceforth have no passage into Cilicia and Phoenicia.
So they're saying if you don't cut off construction, you're going to cut off your trade routes and all the business that you need to get done through the Levant. The Levant was that road we talked about it many weeks ago. That road where it was necessary to get commerce from that whole middle area, whole Levant area, from the east all the way to Egypt. If they didn't sit back here, at least it was painted this way. If you didn't neutralize these Jews, they would cut off that Via Maris, that road that would be able to cut off construction, business, trade through that whole region. Read on.
Then the king wrote back again to Rethmus, the story writer, to Belthamus, to Semelius, the scribe, and to the rest that were in commission, and dwellers in Samaria, in Syria, and Phoenicia after this manner. I have read the epistle which ye have sent unto me. Therefore I commanded to make diligent search, and it hath been found that that city was from the beginning practicing against kings, and the men therein were given to rebellion and war, and that mighty kings and fierce were in Jerusalem, who reigned and exacted tributes in Cilicia and Phoenicia.
Yep.
Now therefore I have commanded to hinder those men from building the city, and heed to be taken that there be no more done in it, and that those wicked workers proceed no further to the annoyance of kings. Then King Artaxerxes, his letter being read, Rathmus and Semelius the scribe, and the rest that were in commission with them, removing in haste toward Jerusalem with a troop of horsemen.
I told you it was with troops too. They sat back here and got the news and ran down there to sit back here and ran on their parade. Read on.
Removing in haste toward Jerusalem with a troop of horsemen and a multitude of people in battle array, began to hinder the builders. And the building of the temple in Jerusalem ceased until the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, king of the Persians.
Like I said, that was a 15-year process that was used to slow down and hinder growth amongst the people. We're going to go to Josephus real quick. Josephus, book 11. Book 11, paragraph 2, or chapter 2. Let me see, let me get there. 11:2. Yeah, we're going to go 1.1.5. Let me see. Just read one. Just read chapter 1 and 2. We're going to read 1 and 2. So it's book 11,
Yep.
chapter 2, paragraph 1 and 2. Computers it's not listening, man.
Oh, it will. Just give me like a minute, if I may.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
So we're gonna talk. Yes. Let's just get books, man. Let's read books, man. Come on.
What happens with this one?
Stop being a computer like slave, I mean slave to
Computer
screens
slave,
and stuff,
man.
I. Just read the book.
All right.
Okay. You still didn't get the parchment.
When the
It's the advertisement.
Well, what's going to happen?
It's the
What's going to happen
advertisement.
when there's a blackout and there's no computer uses anymore?
I'm going to be in the books. God, all right. I'm at chapter 2. How upon the death of Cyrus the Jews were hindering in the building of the temple.
Yep.
When the foundations of the temple were laying, and when the Jews were very zealous about building it, the neighboring nations, and especially the Kuthians, whom Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, had brought out of Persia and Media.
Now, I want to make sure I really point out this part. It said, when the foundations of the temple were laying, I mean, when they finished that foundation, and it was a celebration, okay? He says, when the Jews were very zealous about building it. It's important to understand when you're in the process of building something, pushing forward, trying to build something from scratch, when you're at your most zealous point is when the battle starts. That's going to be when the opposition kicks in. And what determines a person's fortitude is once your zealousness is attacked and knocked down a few pegs, can you sustain the direction you're taking once your zealousness is attacked? I want you to be conscious of that because that's what's going to be talked about as we progress. The Jews' zealousness was at an all-time high, but that's what's attacked in each and every one of our battles. When you want to fight, when you want to endure, when you want to do the right thing, everything that comes against you is created to attack your mindset, to attack that enthusiasm to do well. Let's continue.
When the foundations of the temple were laying, and when the Jews were very zealous about building it, the neighboring nations, and especially the Kuthians, whom Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, had brought out of Persia and Media, and had planted in Samaria, when he carried the people of Israel captives, besought the governors, and those that had the care of such affairs, that they would interrupt the Jews, both in the rebuilding of their city and in the building of their temple. Now, as these men were corrupted by them with money, they sold the Kuthians their interest for rendering this building a slow and a careless work.
So this is talking about when King Cyrus was still in power, how the bribes were in, and it slowed down the construction for the remaining 6 years of King Cyrus's reign. Read on.
For Cyrus, who was busy about other wars, knew nothing of all this.
Because Cyrus was focused on conquest and empire building. He imagined that if he gave the order to build the temple, it was going to get done. Read on.
And it so happened that when he had led his army against the Mesagati, he ended his life. But when Cambyses, the son of Cyrus, had taken the kingdom.
So Cambyses was the next person in. but the scriptures calls him Ahasuerus or Artaxerxes. There can't be a no. It's not. That's the point. Artaxerxes or Ahasuerus. Well, not Artaxerxes, but Ahasuerus was the term of the leader of the Persians.
So like president.
Yes.
Okay.
Or Ahasuerus was like a Caesar. But the problem is, when you read the scriptures, Ahasuerus and Artaxerxes has the same name and connotation. So they keep throwing Artaxerxes as the king after Cyrus, and it's not right. You're going to keep reading about Artaxerxes all the way through. You can't have Artaxerxes before King Darius. Then you have King Darius. Then you have Artaxerxes again after King Darius. It can't be that way. Because where it was Cambyses, Darius, then Xerxes, then Artaxerxes. That's how it went. Even with Esther. The king that was in charge of Esther was Xerxes, not Artaxerxes. It was Xerxes, the guy that was in 300 and then made look like a chump. That was the guy that was in charge, that was married to Esther.
Oh, him?
It was him. But they painted him out like he's hanging out with goats that play flutes. And,
Like, who can hang out with that dude? Who can hang out with that guy?
He was like this shaved like weirdo. That really wasn't how Xerxes really was.
I mean,
this guy didn't have one hair in his body. He looked real soft. That wasn't Xerxes.
They made him look bad in the movie.
They made him look bad.
The Arab world complained against the movie
because it wasn't true.
They made him look really bad.
This guy's just topless every scene. I put some clothes on,
like a Prince nose ring out, like a Prince nose ring.
But when it went to his like chest, it went into his nipple ring. It connected to a nipple. Like, what are you doing?
Like a rock star.
You walk right here like this. I'm the king of Persia. Serve me.
I'm not serving you, bro. Put a shirt on.
That's how he was rolling. Like he was a rock star or something like that. Damn, man. Yeah. So that's not how he really was. Point is, I'm just trying to explain that when you read Artaxerxes, it's not necessarily that king. And the majority of this history wasn't talking about Artaxerxes.
We'll ask this question. And I'm not trying to sound stupid. But how did you figure this out? Because I'm not trying to be that guy. I'm just saying that.
I just made it up, y'all. I'm just making history up as we go on the fly. No.
I'm just saying it wasn't obvious.
Well, right here. Right here is one.
Yeah.
You're reading Josephus.
Yeah.
And then two, when you read history, you just can't, it doesn't fit that way. The next king after Cyrus was Cambyses II. He reigned for 7 years. How can you go from Cyrus to Artaxerxes to Darius? Then you got to go, because historically it was Cyrus, Cambyses, Darius, then his son, which was Xerxes, and then his son was Artaxerxes. Yeah. How can Darius' son be the leader over his father? How can the son be the leader of the father?
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Yes, sir.
As you said, it's just a transliteration. So
that's all
Hebrew,
it is.
We call them this, but in Greek they call them that.
And that's it. But in this, Ahasuerus was the leader, and the prince and the king of the Persians. You leave it at that. You keep things simple. So we just read that Cyrus ended his life in that war against the Mazagate. But when Cambyses, now it's really Cambyses the second, because Cambyses the first was King Cyrus's own father. Read on.
But when Cambyses, the son of Cyrus, had taken the kingdom, the governors in Syria and Phoenicia and in the countries of Ammon, in Moab, and Samaria.
That is Seleucia. All those countries, Syria, Phoenicia, Ammon, Moab, also Edom, and Samaria, that's Seleucia. All these jurisdictions and lands, it was the Levant before, now it's Seleucia. The names keep changing based on the empires that take over. No different than Phoenicia was the Greek name for Tyre and Zidon. Okay? Just different leaders name them different things.
Yeah.
So let's continue.
Based off their tongue
and language. Let's continue.
And Moab and Samaria wrote an epistle to Cambyses, whose contents were to follow. To our Lord Cambyses, we thy servants, Rathmus, the historiographer, and Similius, the scribe.
So now it says to our Lord Cambyses. Whereas in the scriptures, in the Josephus, in Apocrypha said to our Lord Ahasuerus or Artaxerxes. Read on.
And the rest that are thy judges in Syria and Phoenicia send greeting. It is fit, O king, that thou shouldest know that those Jews which were carried to Babylon are coming to our country, and are building that rebellious and wicked city, in its marketplaces, and setting up its walls, and raising up the temple. Now therefore, that when these things are finished, they will not be willing to pay tribute, nor will they submit to thy commands, but will resist kings, and will choose rather to rule over others than be ruled over themselves.
Once again, they said that's the Jew right there, bro.
All day.
The Jews want to boss. Well, they want to be bosses out. The Jews don't want to serve nobody out. So they want to be bossed over other people versus being in order themselves. Read on.
We therefore thought it proper to write to thee, O king, while the works about the temple are going on so fast, and not to overlook this matter, that thou mayest search into the books of thy fathers. For thou wilt find in them that the Jews have been rebellious, rebels, and enemies to kings, as hath their city been also, which, for that reason, hath been till now laid waste. We thought proper also to inform thee of this matter, because thou mayest otherwise perhaps be ignorant of it. For if this city be once inhabited and be entirely encompassed with walls, thou wilt be excluded from thy passage to Cilicia and Phoenicia.
Remember I said, they're saying that if they get their kingdom, they're not going to let anybody pass through the region, and then they're going to start exacting tolls and extra payments to even get through, to even get to Egypt. You got to think about this. They're trying to go military strategy angle too. They knew Cambyses' eyes was on Egypt. How can I freely bring my men down to Egypt to control and subjugate Egypt? But I got to fight these Jews and deal with these taxes on my way down. I just showed you on the map that Egypt was eventually going to be conquered by Cambyses. I got to make sure my territory and my roads are intact. That Via Maris has to be intact for me to get down here, supply my men, supply my armories, so I can't have anything get in the way of my goal of conquering Egypt and controlling this area. So continue.
When Cambyses had read the epistle, being naturally wicked, he was irritated at what they told him, and wrote back to them as follows. Cambyses the king, to Raphmus the historiographer, to Bolethimus, to Similius the scribe, and the rest that are in commission, and dwelling in Samaria and Phoenicia, after this manner. I have read the epistle that was sent from you, and I gave order that the books of my forefathers should be searched into. And it is there found that this city hath always been an enemy to kings, and its inhabitants have raised seditions and wars. We also are sensible that their kings have been powerful and tyrannical.
Powerful and tyrannical. And that's us, tyrants. When we get our power, you can't tell us nothing. Powerful and tyrannical. Read on.
And have exacted tribute over Cilicia and Phoenicia.
Listen, Solomon was known as being a tyrant. Well, let's continue.
Wherefore I gave order that the Jews shall not be permitted to build that city, lest such mischief as they used to bring upon kings be greatly augmented. When this epistle was read, Raphmus and Similius the scribe and their associates got suddenly on horseback and made haste to Jerusalem. They also brought a great company with them and forbade the Jews to build the city and the temple. Accordingly, these works were hindered from going on till the 2nd year of the reign of Darius, for 9 years more. But Cambyses reigned 6 years, and within that time overthrew Egypt. And when he was come back, he died at Damascus.
So listen, he overthrew Egypt. It took him 5 years to defeat them. Mm-hmm. After he defeated Egypt, he died. He reigned. It says different records say different things. It said he reigned for 7 years in other writings. Point is, when you sit back here and add up all the times and all the time that our positions and our focus was deterred was 15 years. And we read in the beginning of this chapter that our zealousness was at an all-time high as we had gotten the foundation set up. And all of the policies and all the works and efforts that the Samaritans had did to slow down growth, slow down building, ended up wearing on the people. So now we're 15 years in, and you could say for the most part the spirit of apathy was on our people. We were just kind of going through the motions.
Yeah.
We were going through the motions. Our spirit was broken, and our zeal to rebuild the temple was limited. Can you imagine? After 15 years of being told, no, you can't build nothing. What do? Most people just kind of go through the motions of life. Paying their bills, living their life, paying their taxes, getting their homes taken care of, sitting back here and just covering number one. So over 15 years, an individual's zealousness, fire, and fight are really attacked. And that's also for us to learn also. When you're trying to fight, do the right thing, and all these things are coming against you, what's being attacked? Your zeal. Your desire to do that which is right. Your desire to stay strong. Because it takes fight, it takes passion, it takes motivation to overcome things in yourself. Right or wrong. To make significant changes, you have to maintain that zeal. So what gets attacked in the midst of you trying to make changes in your life? Look at this temple as an example of an individual trying to fix himself or herself. And now look at the steep opposition it takes to keep us from getting our temple, and the steep opposition it takes for us to overcome ourselves.
For righteousness' sake.
For righteousness' sake. There's always going to be steep opposition inherently set up to attack your zeal. Why do you think we need so much class? Why do you think we need so much scriptures? Why do you think we got to keep the Bible in our minds so consistently to maintain the zeal necessary to fight, to stay on top of your spirit? Because everywhere you look, there's something trying to attack and weaken your heart, attack and weaken your zeal, and detach your motivation from fighting to be the best you can.
And it comes from angles that you can't even prepare for sometimes.
Can. Nor control. So a lot of times, it's so important that we stay immersed in the book. We stay immersed with people that are like-minded that are trying to fight. This is why brotherhood is so important. Keeping around people that are strong. That's why I said a threefold cord is not easily broken. When you're around people that are trying to strive and trying to be zealous and trying to maintain their zealousness, that keeps a person staying on top of their spirit enough to overcome themselves. Think about how hard it is to maintain a diet, to maintain a workout regimen, to maintain
a house,
spiritually strong, maintaining a family, maintaining a house. Because when you're sitting back here and you're a wife, let's use a wife for example. What if your nature isn't to clean, but your husband wants you to clean? What does that mean? You have a lifelong battle ahead of you. Right or wrong? I mean, I gotta every day of my life, I got to go against my nature. What if I'm a woman and I don't like to cook?
That sucks.
Well, that's the point. And I never saw cooking. My mama always ordered out. But my husband wants me to cook. And he wants me to cook organic. All this green stuff. I've known sisters who are allergic, not literally allergic, but mentally allergic to seeing green and eating green things. I've known sisters like, I can't eat anything green. I'm like, damn, you're in trouble then, man. Listen, B. Listen, you're like, damn, that's your spiritual battle? I want to eat anything green? Shit. There's a battle on battles then, bro. I'm not lying when I say that. The only thing they're going to eat that's a vegetable, it really ain't a vegetable, it's corn. That's as best I'm getting the vegetables out. It's corn. And it's that canned corn, too. And it ain't even that natural stuff. It's sweet corn. It's sweet corn. That's all the vegetables I'm getting.
That's the best. It's the bestest.
Bro, you gonna clunk out, bro, by the time you're 35, bro. But that's a lot of our people. Contrary to what you might think, there's a lot of our people raised just on corn and tortillas out. I'm not lying. I'm not fronting. Why am I even saying all this? If I'm anti-cleaning, anti-cooking, then that means my whole life is based on going against my nature. So in order for me to sit back here and live my life to go against my nature, I have to be around people that are given to break up. They have to be motivated with going against their nature to keep me fighting. This is the nature of serving the Lord. This is why we need each other. Because listen, us talking about cleaning and cooking is one thing, but there's other people that have issues in other things. Some people don't like to be told what to do. You know what's so challenging about the scripture says we're supposed to teach the fatherless children, right? You know what the problem with being a fatherless child is? What's the number one problem with being a fatherless child? Thank you. I was raised to be a hard hit. I was raised to only rely on my way. So I got 16 ways of doing it, 16 years of doing it my way. Now, as a teacher, we got to go at a person who all they know is relying on themselves. How many years did it take to fix that? We got to go against 16, 18 years of a person only trusting in themselves and being afraid to trust and follow somebody else, let alone pride. You got pride in itself. Then you got fear. Once you get past pride, then you get to the core of a person is afraid to trust, is afraid to follow, let alone people who've dealt with abuse. In order for people like that to overcome what's inside themselves, they have to be surrounded with people that are trying to fight their nature as well. That's what makes this walk so challenging and also so rewarding. Because this is what it takes. This is what it takes to break that. The scripture always talks about, I think in Ecclesiastes, is everything is based 2 against 2. Or 1 against 1. Meaning, wherever there's zeal, there's going to be that resistance to attack that zeal. Okay, wherever there's good, evil is present. Understanding that, hey, 15 years, we were getting beat down, and our will was being attacked, and our will was being broken. And when your will is being attacked and broken, what we like to do is sometimes just kind of just tread water and maintain. And this is what ended up happening to us for this 15-year process. We were broken, and we were giving up. And we just accepted at a certain point that we were just going to sit back and not get this temple done. That's the mindset that we were in. I want to paint this picture so we can understand why the Most High after this sent prophets and why the prophets were teaching the way they were teaching in response to this mindset of apathy, that broken spirit that was on us after 15 years of it not coming through. Okay? Now, let's go to Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1.
Because it's hard to get somebody hype about something they ain't got done yet.
It's hard to keep people hopeful after all your efforts get shut down.
We gotta push today. We gotta push for
And that's the point. And that's the challenge that we all have in dealing with battles in our life. But just like what we're reading now is what we face in our personal lives even to this day. With that zeal, there's going to be attacks at that zeal to break your will. So, and that's what Satan is. Satan is about trying to take your zeal. We'll explain that. Read that in Ezra, sir, if you can.
Ezra 5 and 1. Then the prophets, Haggai the prophet, and Zechariah the son of Iddo.
Zechariah the son of Iddo was Levi. We'll go into that in a little bit. Haggai was a prophet. Zechariah was a prophet. And the Most High inspired them to kind of start shaking us out of our rut after that 15 years had dissipated. Read on.
Prophesied unto the Jews that were in Judah, in Jerusalem, in the name of Yahweh of Israel.
And you know, the thing about this is what the Most High did to keep us humble. Another reason why the Most High didn't open this up is because if it opened up, we would have thought it was who?
Of course.
Us that did this. Our pride would have been inflated, thinking that, yeah, it was my will, my wisdom that got this temple built up. He made us wait. He even allowed our spirits to get broken to keep us humble for us to have to rely on the Heavenly Father again. So 15 years have passed. Now we have Haggai first, then Zechariah coming up to start sitting back here and prophesying to us to shake us out of our rut, to get us going, to get us in the spirit of fighting. Let's now hold this and go to Haggai, chapter 1. We're going to read the entire book of Haggai. Now all these things are coming together. So Haggai, let me see. Yeah, chapter 1, verse 1 down.
Haggai chapter 1 and 1. In the second year of Darius the king.
So now we're catching up. This is why you have to really take your time to bounce and follow where the history goes. We just came from Ezra 5, and we just left verse 24 in Ezra 4, talking about they had to wait till Darius, king of Persia, before anything started happening. So for 15 years, we don't get any reports about what's happening with the Jews. But now they have to go 2 years into Darius' reign before we start reading about what happens next. So, second year of King Darius, 6th month, and the first day of the month, read on,
came the word of Yahweh by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shiliah, governor of Judah.
So now by this point, Zerubbabel was made governor. Before this point, he wasn't made governor. He was just the leader that Cyrus had commissioned to overshoot and oversee the construction of the temple. But now at this point, 15 years in, he's the governor. He's the official governor of the region. So, let's continue.
Governor of Judah, and to Joshua the son of Justeh, the high priest, saying, Thus speaketh the Most High of hosts.
So now Haggai has been given a prophecy, or he has been relayed information to teach and show Zerubbabel and the high priest Yahushua. Read on.
Saying, This people say, the time is not come, the time that Yahweh's house should be built.
He said the time is come, and now it's time that the Lord's house has got to get built. Read on.
Then came the word of Yahweh by Haggai the prophet, saying, Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lay waste?
So the funny thing is this. Their response will be, well, Father, we tried it, it didn't work out. That will be Zerubbabel and everybody's answer, like, man, we tried, and the powers that be didn't allow us to do it. But the Most High is like, listen, I got to rile you up. I got to get you to fight again. So now you're low. You've given up on the prospect of building the temple. Now the Most High, you got to get off your ass now, get out of your house, and go back to work. Read on.
Now therefore, thus saith the Most High of hosts, consider your ways.
A lot of times we pull this verse because we talk about people who are just selfish in general, who don't want to contribute to the school, who don't want to give to the camp, who don't want to give anything. These guys were broken into submission by their condition. And the Most High is still checking them like they're just being selfish dudes. And that's scary. Because most of the guys that we pull this verse on are people who just have no desire or inclination to give, and they're just selfish.
Can't get out of bed.
They don't even give a damn. But really, these guys stopped giving a damn because the powers that be threatened them with violence. It just shows you the different caliber of men. And the Most High is saying that you guys are lazy, even though, hey, these guys weren't allowed to do it. I'm just trying to give the context to this correction. Read on.
Now therefore, thus saith the Most High of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bringing little.
He says, and even though you guys by law couldn't do it, I'm going to still curse you because you didn't try still. Because what's the one thing they didn't do once the laws forbid them to construct? They didn't go to the Most High.
That's true too.
They didn't sit back here and come to the Heavenly Father for answers. They just gave up and took the beating and accepted their condition.
And that's what we do.
That's exactly what we
Because
do.
What we do is we have problems that look impossible, aren't getting any better. We don't pray about
We pray,
it.
hell no.
We don't talk about it.
We
don't
just,
read
we,
about
just,
it.
we just stew inside and get angry.
Yeah.
That's us all the damn time. When things aren't going our way, we sit back here and we just get angry and shut down.
Why try?
But the Most High, like, how come you didn't sit back and come to me then? And ask and petition for this.
You like, listen, you saw me out there.
That's exactly
You saw
how
me
we
out
think.
there.
We tried.
Tomorrow, I'm supposed to come to you and pray all day.
Yes,
You
yes.
saw me out there.
Bro.
I had my jersey on. You didn't come to the game, Lord.
You didn't put me in the game.
But really,
This is a real
He
thing.
wants us to humble ourselves and come to Him.
Listen, we talked about it before. Listen, what did these people not do? Ask, seek, and knock. They didn't sit back and pray. They didn't petition. They didn't keep fighting. They gave up, and they just rode. And that's why the Most High was upset with them. They didn't keep fighting. They didn't keep praying. They didn't keep. So how come they didn't sit back and write letters and petition? They didn't try nothing. Because we were already broken in the mind.
Defeated.
We were already defeated. And we didn't even try to fight. So now the Most High got to bring prophets in here to shake us out of our rut.
Yeah.
He said, all you guys doing is being selfish. So what it's also saying is, you can be selfish because you're apathetic. Apathy is selfishness also. Being sad and being dejected about how the Most High didn't come through for you. The Most High is like, you're still being selfish. You're sowing to yourself. They would have a good reason why they're sowing to themselves, right? They had a good, Father, we tried to build these goddamn Samaritans, shut it down. The king said, it ain't going to happen on my watch. Maybe the next king might do it. He's like, man, y'all didn't even try. You know, there was 2 years that King Darius was in power. They didn't even try with the new king. They gave up. And the Most High gets angry at us when we give up.
Come.
When we don't try. Once again, apathy is sin also. Letting your conditions break your will. Letting losses in the spirit break your desire to fight. That's sin also. Okay, read verse 6.
6. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
So he's like, listen, you're apathetic, your spirit's broken, your zeal is quenched, and you're just going through the motions in life, and you're not seeing any reward with what you're doing every day. You're just getting gray. You're just getting grayer by the day. That's all you're doing with your life. Because you let conditions, you let circumstances break your zeal to please me. Let's continue.
Thus saith the Most High of Hosts, consider your ways. Go up to the mountain and bring wood, and build the house. I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified.
So he's like, listen, get off your ass and try. But you know what that also means? If he's saying, go build the house, get wood, and build. What is he saying? Yes, he's saying get off your ass, but he's also saying what? Take the risk. There's a risk from doing this. Didn't King Kambisi say, listen, construction's halted. If anybody does any construction, they got to answer to me. So what does that mean? If the Most High is saying, get off your tail, get wood, and build, he's like, risk your life. Stop sitting back here and letting these jurisdictions break your spirit and break your desire to do what's right. If you let these spirits break you, he says, you know what? Take the risk. Don't worry about if you're going to get thrown in jail. Don't worry about if there's criminal charges on you. Build my house. Stop getting overly technical, overly thinking things through. Get off your tail and do my job. That's what this entails. You see how it's so much better when you have the context of the situation there? It's not just go up and get some wood and build a house. There's real consequences by going ahead and reconstructing the temple again. Kariah, without taking the risk, is sin. Because there's no faith there. Without faith, it is impossible to please him. Without taking that risk, how can you please Heavenly Father anyway? The problem is, they were afraid to lose, and so are we afraid to lose. That's why we stopped growing. We stopped growing because we're afraid to lose. You can't be afraid to lose if you want to grow spiritually. Read on.
Indeed. Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house, and I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, saith the Most High. Ye look for much.
Yeah, you came out here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and all you got is a goddamn foundation to show for it. And an altar. That ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. You look for much. Read on.
Ye looked for much, and lo, it came to little.
It came to little. You didn't get nothing accomplished in 17 damn years. In 17 years that you've been back, all you got is a foundation and an altar to show for it. That's whack. He's like, regardless of the laws that were shut down against you, you didn't come to me, you didn't ask, you didn't pray. You weren't proactive in the solution. Read on.
And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it.
Mm-hmm.
Why, saith the Most High of Hosts? Because of mine house that is waste.
So what he's saying in verse 9, let me go back a little bit. Once you stop trying to build the temple, you focus your mind on getting your house set up. And he said, when you sat back and got your house set up, it came to nothing. That house came to nothing. He said he blew on the house anyway. Think about this. He blew on our personal endeavors, even though the laws didn't let us complete the temple. Think about that. You know how many times we choose self after we give doing something spiritual a try and it doesn't work out? How many times we all sit back here, try to do things spiritual, it don't work, and then we go back to carnal? We do it all the time. He says he curses us when we attempt to do something spiritual, it doesn't work out for whatever reason, and we go back to our old ways. He blows on that. He destroys our carnal endeavors because the lesson was to finish the task that was provided in front of us first before you go for you. However long it takes to endure in this spiritual path he got you going on, you got to go to the end. Instead of stopping, letting the conditions stop you, and you go do you. That's why he's mad at these people, because they let their conditions break their zeal. Continue.
I did blow upon it. Why, saith the Most High of Hosts? Because of mine house that is waste, and ye run every man unto his own house.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew.
The heaven over you is stopped from growth, from dew. Read on.
Therefore, the heaven over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from her fruit. And I called for a drought upon the land, and upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the hands.
So it's letting you know for that 15 years that got nothing done, they were suffering too. They had just enough to get by. So it wasn't a comfortable existence. Even notice when you try to sit back and do you pursue your ways, the Most High still slows you down. He still makes life difficult. You still robbing Peter to pay Paul. Because you're still supposed to sit back here and put your spiritual pursuits ahead of your own, despite your best attempts to do right, and they're not turning over in your favor. There's something about starting a spiritual process and finishing it that the Most High is hell bent on. It's about the lesson. It wasn't even as much about the temple as about them finishing what they started. How are they going to learn the lessons they need to teach their children to have a greater appreciation of the Most High unless they finish this process? And they're getting older. 15 years has passed. These guys got to be in their 40s and 50s. You got to get your head out, you know what, and get back to work and get my job done come hell or high water. I don't give a shit if they watch you. Because the problem is these Samaritans were watching them. This is why they were so afraid. There was always snitches around, trying to see if they were trying to build again. He said, stop worrying about if they're looking at you and snitching. Just get construction going again. Stop worrying about what you're going to lose. Stop worrying about losing your lands. Stop worrying about dying. Read on.
Then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Jozadak, the high priest, with all the remnant of the people, obeyed the voice of the Most High their power, and the words of Haggai the prophet, as the Most High their power had sent him. And the people did fear before Yahweh. Then spake Haggai, the Most High's messenger, and Yahweh's message unto the people, saying, I am with you, saith the Most High. And the Most High stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, the son of Jozadak, the high priest, in the spirit of all the remnant of the people. And they came and did work in the house of Yahweh of hosts.
So they started the construction without the authorization of Darius. They took that risk before Darius authorized it. Now you're going to read down the line in Ezra chapter 3 and down the way where it starts dealing with Zerubbabel being the governor, ends up having this contest of wisdom, and then once he won, he communicates with Darius, and Darius gives him the grant to continue construction. But construction was getting done before this situation with Darius even came about. So it's almost like the Most High wasn't going to come through and change the mind of Darius until they sat back here and made a decision to come back together and rebuild. A lot of times we expect the Most High to come bring us a blessing out of the sky without us sitting back here and putting the work in and committing before the Most High opens the heart of the principalities that are in charge of the assignment.
So we got to commit first, then he opens doors.
That's the point.
This other way we do
Show
it.
me a sign.
The way we do it.
Show me a sign, Father, then I'll try again.
Yeah.
That's not it. You got to commit the righteous works first.
I'm not going to do it until
then he'll open the door.
Shows that he wants us to do it.
You can't do that,
But he
bro.
been said to do it, though.
You just let different conditions break your zeal.
That's what happened.
And that's the lesson. The lesson is, can I continue to power forward, doing the right things, even though everything around me is beating me down in submission to weaken me?
Because sometimes you're at war with the military. Sometimes you're at war with a situation.
Okay.
It's not just you got a sword out and you're out there slaying people on the battlefield.
No.
Sometimes you're fighting the actual terrain and situation.
This is more of a realistic scenario that we face. The conditions that we're facing now, this is more of what we deal with on a daily basis. Back in the olden days, it wasn't even real. We just fight these Philistines, everything will be okay. We had to fight principalities, laws, jurisdictions. And can you keep fighting even though these conditions and jurisdictions aren't favoring you?
And maintaining that zeal.
And maintaining the zeal through all these forces keeping you back from your growth? Okay, so let's continue.
15.
Okay.
In the 24th day of the 6th month, in the 2nd year of Darius the king.
Huh? Joseph?
It's first. The water is first.
Also, what?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm sorry. Read that verse again, sir. I'm so sorry.
In 15. In the 4th and 20th day of the 6th month, in the 2nd year of Darius the king.
So now the construction and the rebuilding, at least the beginning rebuilding process, started on the 24th day of the 6th month in the 2nd year after they got hit up on the first, I think it was the first day of the 6th month. Yeah. So 24 days later, they got construction going. and things were kind of put back on track. Now let's read. Let me see. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, read chapter 2 also.
Haggai 2 and 1. In the 7th month, in the 120th day of the month, came the word of the Most High by the prophet Haggai, saying, Speak now to Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Jezdek, the high priest, and to the residue of the people, saying, Who is left among you that saw this house in her first glory? And how do ye see it now? Is it not in your eyes, in comparison of it as nothing?
And he's reminding them, listen, man, how many of y'all was here when it was first, when the Solomon's kingdom was here? Or Solomon's temple was here? He says, this is nothing in comparison to what it once was. He's reminding us, hell, the temple wasn't anything, neither were we. When you read in 2nd Ezra, the Most High constantly reminds Ezra, listen, bro, even the caliber of man was, at the time that Ezra was writing, was way lesser than the caliber of men during the time of David and Solomon and so forth. Just imagine how much weaker we are now. But he said mankind was lesser at this time. So mankind was a reflection of the temple. We were in a lessened state. We were lesser people. The temple was lesser. Read on.
Yet now be strong, O Zerubbabel, saith the Most High, and be strong, O Joshua, son of Jezdek, the high priest, and be strong, all ye people of the land, saith the Most High, and work, for I am with you, saith the Most High of hosts.
So I'm with you, so just go to work. I'll take care of the hearts of the Samaritans. I'll take care of all the enemies around you. I'll work on the heart of King Darius. You just do your job and go to work and stay strong and don't overthink things. Because a lot of times he's like, I'm there because we want to worry about all these different jurisdictions and things that we can't control.
Yeah.
He's like, stop worrying about the things you can't control. Do my job, and I'll make sure everything else works the way it needs to be. But the strength is based upon they're risking their lives. They're risking their stability. Read on. The little stability that they have. Read on.
According to the word that I have covenanted with you when ye came out of Egypt. So my spirit remaineth among you. Fear ye not.
He said, my spirit is still with you. The same spirit that was with you guys during the time of Egypt is with you now. And that's for us too. The same spirit that was with us in Egypt is with us now. If we're doing the right thing and committing to him, the spirit's still with us. Okay? Read on.
For thus saith the Most High of hosts, Yet once it is a little while, and I will shake the heavens, and the earth, and the sea, and the dry land. And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come.
He says, very soon, I'm going to work on the kings, work on the people in power. I'm going to work on all the conditions around you to work in your favor. Read on.
And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come. And
He says, the desire of all nations shall come, meaning I'm going to make the nations desire to want to get this construction going. I'm going to work on the head, which is Darius. And very soon, once you focus your mind on going to work, I will work on these outside positions. And I will work on these outside principalities to want to back you and support you in this endeavor. But I got to see that you want it first. And I got to see that you want to put it on the line and risk it all on the line. Then I'll defend you. That's the lesson. Are we going to sit back here and put it on the line for the sake of the work and trust he'll take care of all the other principalities and orders and administrations necessary to get it done?
This is very close, like you said earlier. This is very close to the conditions that we face versus fighting Philistines.
Because we don't have that power anymore to fight nobody. Our fight is faith. Continue.
And I will shake all nations, and the desire of all nations shall come. And I will fill this house with glory, saith the Most High of hosts. The silver is mine, And the gold is mine.
So listen, the person, the people, the person in control of power, the money, is the Father. That's for us also. The silver and gold is in control of the Most High. So if he wants us to have more silver and gold, what's going to happen? That's my point. If we don't have more money, if we ain't getting more promotions, why? Most High don't want you to have more silver and gold. If he wants you to have more silver and gold, you'd have more silver and gold. He's in control of your conditions. And he's like, because he's in control of silver and gold, the financing for this temple will get done. What it means is there was construction materials on site that we just stopped working, bro. We had access to supplies, we just didn't continue to work. He wants us to sit back and use all the supplies crazy. He wants us to max out our supplies, run through our supplies, and then he'll give us more. Because that's what he says, continue working. Think about this. By the time we're in chapter 2, construction is back going. But they don't have no money. They don't have no resources. Their resources are slim and none. So at this point, you can tell that the supplies are running low. He said, you just focus on your work. You focus on your job, and I will sit back and bring the added silver and gold necessary to complete this project. Don't stress. I got that. Max out all your resources, and I'm going to come through later. Read on.
Verse 8. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Most High of hosts. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Most High of hosts. And in this place I will give peace, saith Yahweh of hosts.
Now this verse is really talking about down the line, when Herod did it, is when it became greater. Say read verse again.
And 9. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Most High of hosts.
So which one was greater, Adam?
Aesthetically,
and that's all I'm saying.
the latter.
That's all I'm saying, and that's what
Spiritually, the former.
Okay, there we go. I'm just saying what it is.
That's it.
This is the word of the Lord said this. Huh? He said the latter's going to be greater. And we know that it wasn't this last one. It wasn't the one completed in 515. It was the one down the line that was going to be greater. Read on.
And in this place will I give peace, saith the Most High of hosts. In the 4th and 20th day of the 9th month.
Stop. Before we go into the 9th month, remind me of this. I'm kind of going off sequence. Let's go to Zechariah chapter 1, verse 1. One verse 1 through 6. I'm going to stay on top of these times and these periods. So where we're at in Haggai, we're about to go into the 24th day of the 9th month. Let's go to Zechariah 1 and 1 real quick.
Zechariah 1 and 1. In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahweh unto Zechariah, the son of Becherah, the son of Iddo, the prophet.
So listen, the word came to Haggai in the 6th month of the 2nd year. The word came to Zechariah 2 months later, in the 8th month in the 2nd year of Darius. Okay, read on.
The son of Iddo, the prophet, saying the Most High.
Stop. The son of Iddo, the prophet, that means Zechariah was Levi. Real quick, let's go to Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 1 and 16. Nehemiah chapter 12, verse 1 and 16.
Nehemiah chapter 12 and 1. Now, these are the priests and the Levites that went up from Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, Sariah, Jeremiah, Ezra.
Now jump to verse 16, because this is a list of all the Levites. Now, Zerubbabel was Judah. We said these are the Levites that were with Zerubbabel. Okay? So the Levites were, verse 16.
Of Iddo, Zechariah, of Githanan, Meshullam.
So, that's all I want. All I want to make sure is we understand that Zechariah was Levi. He was of the priest, and he was inspired by the Lord the 8th month of the 2nd year, because this was go time. This was time to get the priests going and the people going. Okay? Haggai was hitting up Zerubbabel and the people. Zechariah was hitting up the priest. Okay, so read verse 1 again from the top.
In the 8th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahweh unto Zechariah, the son of Becherah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, The Most High hath been sore displeased with your fathers. Therefore say thou unto them, Thus saith the Most High of hosts, Turn ye unto me, saith Yahweh of hosts, and I will turn unto you.
So he's like, listen, priest, the Most High has been upset with the priests for a great long time. He's like, priest, come back to the Most High. Levi, come back to the Father. Israel, come back to the Father. Read on.
Turn ye now from your evil ways, and from your evil doings.
Read verse 4 from the top again.
Yeah. Verse 4 from the top. Be ye not as your fathers, unto whom the former prophets have cried, saying, Thus saith the Most High of hosts, Turn ye now from your evil ways, and from your evil doings. But they did not hear, nor hearken unto me, saith the Most High. Your fathers, where are they? And the prophets, do they live forever? But my words and my statutes, which I commanded my servants the prophets, did they not take hold of your fathers?
They did not. Read on.
And they returned and said, Like as the Most High of hosts thought to do unto us, according to our ways and according to our doings, so hath he dealt with us.
True.
God, he is the Most High.
True.
Got us in our conditions based on our works and our doings. We want to sit back here and tell ourselves that our situation is worse than what it should be.
And it's not fair. The judgment's not fair.
He's like, listen, you are rewarded according to your ways. We are rewarded according to our ways. It's that simple. Continue.
Upon the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month Sabbath, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahweh unto Zechariah, the son of Becherah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, I saw by night.
So now we're jumping into the 11th month of the 24th day. So let's hold this, and let's go back to Haggai. Because I want to sit back and stay in sequence. This was the from 1 to 6 was the 8th month, 2nd year. So now I didn't want to jump to the 11th month because let's go and talk about the 9th month in Haggai chapter 2 and verse 10.
In the 4th and 20th day of the 9th month, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of Yahweh by Haggai the prophet, saying, Thus saith the Most High of hosts, Ask now the priest concerning the Torah, saying, If one bear holy flesh in the skirt of his garment, and with his skirt do touch bread, or pottage, or wine, or oil, or any meat, shall it be holy? And the priest answered and said, No. Then said Haggai, If one that is unclean by a dead body touch any of these, shall it be unclean? And the priest answered and said, It shall be unclean.
Mm-hmm.
Then answered Haggai and said, So is this people, and so is this nation before me.
He's like, the nation is unclean. The nation is unclean because it starts with the Levites. He's like, the Levites, y'all made it unclean. Your conduct, how you've rolled, has made the people unclean. He's letting the Levites know that the corruption starts from the top.
Yeah.
And that if you want the people to get right, you got to get right. If you're clean, the people will be inspired and motivated to be clean. Read on.
Then answered Haggai and said, So is it this people, and so is this nation before me, saith Yahweh. And so is every work of their hands, and that which they offer there is unclean. And now I pray you, consider from this day and upward, from before a stone was laid upon a stone in the temple of Yahweh, since those days were, then one came to an heap of 20 measures, but there were but 10. When one came to the press pot, for to draw out 50 vessels out of the press, there were but 20. I smote you with blasting and with mildew and with hail and all the labors of your hands, but ye turned not to me, saith the Most High.
He said, when I corrected you, you didn't take the hint, you didn't take the message, you kept doubling down on your wickedness. Read on.
Consider now from this day and upward, from the 4th and 20th day of the 9th month, even from the day that the foundation of the Most High's temple was laid, consider it. Is the seed yet in the barn? Yea, as yet the vine, and the fig tree, and the pomegranate, and the olive tree hath not brought forth. From this day will I bless you.
He's like, I'm going to sit back here and start filling all your needs now. He's like, because you guys' work has been acknowledged. We're in the 11th month at this particular time. No, 9th month. So the 9th. So for 3 months, they've been active heavily in rebuilding. He's like, now I'm going to start filling up your barns and giving you what you need. Read on.
And again the word of Yahweh came unto Haggai in the 4th and 20th day of the month, saying, Speak to Zerubbabel, governor of Judah, saying, I will shake the heavens and the earth, and I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms, and I will destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen, and I will overthrow the chariots and those that ride in them. And the horses and the riders shall come down, every one by the sword of his brother. In that day, saith Yahweh of hosts, will I take thee, O Zerubbabel, my servant, the son of Shealtiel, saith Yahweh, and will make thee as a signet, for I have chosen thee, saith the Most High of hosts.
He says, he was going to choose Zerubbabel to be the initiator of helping to get the kingdom of Persia and the other kingdoms surrounding them to help in this construction. This actually happens when you start reading 1 Ezra chapter 3. When you read 1 Ezra chapter 3 and in the Josephus, it talks about how the Most High uses Zerubbabel to help inspire King Darius to proceed in the further construction processes of the temple. Okay? Let that verse go, and let's go to Zechariah. We'll go on to that probably next week because that's a whole nother set of reading that we probably won't have time to do. Okay, let's read on.
Zechariah 1.
Now we're at Zechariah chapter 1 again, and let's get verse 7.
Zechariah 1 and 7. Upon the 4th and 20th day of the 11th month, which is the month of Sabbath, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Most High unto Zechariah, the son of Barakah, the son of Iddo the prophet, saying, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding upon a red horse. And he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom, and behind him were their red horses, speckled in white. Then said I, O Yahweh, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will show thee what these be. And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom the Most High hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And they answered the angel of the Most High that stood among the myrtle trees, and said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest. Then the angel of the Most High answered and said, O Yahweh of hosts, how long wilt thou have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Jerusalem?
How long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem? So the question is, how long is it going to be before Israel gets back and their temple is reconstructed, and their walls are refortified? Okay? How long is it going to take? He says everybody is at peace in the world. How long is it going to take for Jerusalem to get reestablished? Read on.
12.
Yep.
Then the angel of the Most High answered and said, O Yahweh of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and on the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years?
Exactly. Read on.
Question.
Yeah.
Was this angel Michael?
I can't give you the answer to that question
Okay.
because the angel could be Gabriel. He's the messenger angel. I have no idea.
Okay.
And also, just a heads up, we're going to probably stop at Zechariah 3, maybe 4, because it gets really prophetical in the majority of Zechariah. You might get, it goes from like 1, even 2 kind of goes into prophecy to the end. 3 is more historical, but it's a lot of like prophetical angles in Zechariah. You might get 1 in chapter 7. It gives a little bit more history of the time, but we're not going to be going through the entire Zechariah because there's a lot of prophecy. Chapter 5 goes into the end times with nuclear bombs and the whole 9. There's a lot of different prophecies here. So we're going to do as much as we can, but I'm not going to lie. When it talks about these angels, I can't really give you specifics because we're here in prophecy land now. Read on.
12 latter half. Against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the Most High answered the angel that talked with me with good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me said unto me, Cry thou, saying, Thus saith the Most High of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy.
This kind of goes back into when we read in the end of Isaiah where the Most High says, comfort ye, thy warfare is accomplished. At this particular point, he's like, man, listen, very soon, you guys are going to be able to rise up and you'll get it rebuilt. And all the things you've been withheld for these last 15 some odd years, the favor is about to turn on your side. Read on.
And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
So now he's like, I am upset with the heathen that are comfortable. There's no more wars in Persia, but they're still not finalizing the orders that I had even from King Cyrus. They know what I had him do, and they're not following the orders that I want them to do. Read on.
For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
And you know what the truth is? They helped forward the affliction and the conditions that the Most High had them go through. The Most High used them to further the affliction for longer. It was supposed to be 70 years. Now we're in 85, 90-year time. Okay, read on.
Therefore, thus saith the Most High, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Most High of hosts. And a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry yet, saying,
that line is going to be stretched in Jerusalem is all the sacrifices. All the people that are going to the temple to reestablish offerings back to the Heavenly Father. Read on.
Cry yet, saying, Thus saith the Most High of hosts, My cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and the Most High shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem.
So the truth is this. Most High said that prosperity and comfort was going to happen to Jerusalem. Did that mean that the Jews weren't going to have to sit back here and still pay taxes? Listen, we still had to pay taxes. We still had to pay tribute. But you know what the prosperity was? The nations backed off of us. When you read from the time of the Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans, when things were peaceful, those leaders and kings of all three of those nations actually sent more rams and animals to be sacrificed for the Lord. They helped supply us with the animals we needed for the sacrifices. They actually sat back here and gave us out of their own tax of the people out of their income to help with the sacrifices. That brought about peace. The Most High sit back here didn't individually give us hookups. It wasn't about individual hookups. It was about peace from war and tribulation and freedom to serve the Heavenly Father with peace.
And that's always been that way ever since Egypt. Trying to go back, let my people go that they may serve me. The prosperity is we can serve the Most High without being hindered.
That is the prosperity. We look at prosperity the wrong way. It's not about you coming up. It's about the place where the word is being taught is going to operate smoothly under good conditions. Read on.
Then lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked.
Horns represent power. Okay? Horns represent power. There is a verse, I think it is in Habakkuk. Let me see. That deals with powers. Horns is power. Give me 1 second, Joe. My back is killing me, bro.
Habakkuk 3 and 4, and his brightness was the light. He had horns coming out of his hand.
I think that is it 3 and 4?
Yeah, 3 and 4. There was no hiding in his power.
Yeah, the horns is power. The horns are power.
Habakkuk 3 and 4. Habakkuk 3 and 4 says, and his brightness.
No. Let the brother read it so everybody can get it.
Habakkuk 3 and 4. Yeah. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand.
Talking about the return of Christ. All power.
God.
Christ will have horns coming out of his hands. what are these? Is it like a bull's horn? Is it the ram's horn? No, we're gonna find out what is the horn coming out of Christ's hands. Read.
You said verse 14, right?
Verse 4.
Habakkuk 3 and 4 from the top.
Okay.
Huh?
And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand,
Mm-hmm.
and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence.
So the hiding of his power, he's all filled with light, all powerful, shining and glowing, and he had horns coming out of his hands. These horns were the powers.
The horn represents the power. You just want to keep that simple. So that was a perfect verse. So in verse 19 of Zechariah chapter 1, we're still dealing with the horns as representing power. So it's like, and I lifted my eyes up and saw these 4 horns, these 4 powers. Okay? Let's continue.
Zechariah 1 and 19. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
These are the powers and the principalities that was getting in the way of Jerusalem and Judea getting built. Remember when you're reading Daniel's? We didn't go into it because we skipped it because it's dealing with Persia and the Greek wars. But there was a scripture where it said Christ was going to war against the principalities of
Persia.
yeah,
The Prince
the
of
Prince of Persia. Trying to find that verse. Daniel's 10 and 20, if I'm not mistaken.
Daniel chapter 10 and 20.
Mm-hmm.
Then said he,
Boy, you gotta give me some time. Give me some time.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. That's the verse.
Daniel's 10 and verse 20. Yeah. Let me put it in so that people can Okay, read that, sir.
then said he, knowest thou wherefore I come unto thee? And now will I return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I am gone forth, lo, the prince of Grecia shall come.
When he's fighting against the Prince of Persia, is he fighting against the man? Or is he fighting against the principalities that are on the side of Persia? This is what Christ is doing. He was fighting against the principalities of the king of Persia. And after he defeated the principalities of Persia, Greece was going to step in as the power. The Greeks, when you sit back and look at the history, if I'm not mistaken, the Greeks and the Persian had been going through wars and skirmishes for over 100 years, 150 years, leading up to the fall with Alexander. There was a long time of battling because, look at the map again, Persia had taken out Turkey. What was left was westward, and that was Greece. They had been fighting for over 100 some odd years to completely control the country of Greece. And the Most High Christ was on the Greek side defeating the Persians, not allowing the Persians to get that foothold into Greece. It wasn't meant to be. Okay? So when you read about Christ going against the Prince of Persia, he's going against the principalities of that region. Also, when you read into Josephus about years ago before Jerusalem fell, people saw in the sky 2 different armies fighting against each other in the sky. No, not the Maccabees. This was during the time of the Romans. And the Jews thought it was a good omen when they saw in the sky war in heaven. But what was happening is it was the principalities of the Hebrews and the Jews going against the principalities that was bringing down Jerusalem. But we didn't pick that up. So what we're reading now about these horns or these powers in Zechariah chapter 1, these are the horns and powers that were put there to be antagonists against our re-entry into the city. Don't forget, the Most High had cursed us with having those principalities be put there. Remember the Most said after we leave, nobody's going to be able to stay back that were Jews? Remember that last group when Jeremiah was there as an older man? They wanted to hide and not get sent over, and they fled into Egypt. The curse was to send them back to their captivity as well. because they were supposed to stay and serve. Anyway, what am I trying to say? These horns were built in opposition to us getting reestablished in our area, right? So give me verse 18 in Zechariah again.
Zechariah 1 and 18. Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
So these angels, these forces and principalities were allowed to keep us from prospering in that area. Read on.
And the Most High showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them.
Let's look up fray. So these carpenters have come to be to attack and fight these 4 horns that are in the position to make life hell for us. These spirits have been there for that 15 years, allowing that oppositional force to grow. Now, he's like, these 4 carpenters are there to fray these other 4 horns. Fray means what? Fray means to combat, to battle, to duel, to quarrel, to violently riot. So when he says these 4 carpenters are obviously other principalities that are on our side to eradicate these principalities that would make our life difficult. So think about this in terms of our personal battles. When it feels like you're hitting against a brick wall, it's because you are. There are forces the Most High has allowed to be there to keep you from getting what you want. To force you to be humble enough to do what?
Come in.
Ask the Most High for supplication, and then he'll sit back and send spirits to remove these obstacles out of your way. This is the spiritual battle that we all face. He just said these 4 spirits are there to not let any of this construction truly flourish. But now we're here in this 2nd year. I think it was the 11th month. Now it's time to pull off these restraints. And the Most High is going to take off these restraints, take off this pressure, and allow construction and growth to happen again. But it took us to be humble. It took us to be willing to serve the Most High again. And we had to go to work despite the resistance. Then he came through for us. Does that make sense? We're quiet and say, what's going on, man? We're good? There's silence. There's you can drop quarters and pennies. It don't even matter. Nobody's saying nothing.
You know hits?
What hits?
It hits too fast. When you hit
Is
a
this
wall.
prophecy going on now? As far
This is life.
Yesterday.
because hey, I know.
But this is 5 minutes ago. This happened 5 minutes ago. Hey, listen, we better pray for them carpenters, bro. Because there's some whores out there not letting you get what you want done either.
Right.
That's the point. And the Most High is okay. Listen, he has them there on purpose. So you can't run from the Most High. That's why those powers are there. Because you're going to try to do what you want to do without going to him. He like, I don't got time watching this damn Jew run around and hide from me. Listen, force whatever. Angel, stay there and stifle this nigga. Your job is 24 hours is to block all his moves.
It's like football. He's like,
Your job is to block all his moves. I don't give a shit what he do.
I don't want to touch him. I don't want to touch him.
Listen, I'll let you know when to back off this dude. Because when I get some incense from him, Scripture says prayers are like incense.
Yeah.
So when I get some good smelling incense, not no stinky incense, not no boo-boo smelling incense, give me some good incense and I'll lighten this up.
Yeah.
That's really how it is. These horns are there to keep you from getting what you want until you serve him and give him what he wants. I hope this gives clarity about many of battles, man.
Right.
Why we don't even want
Nobody likes this part. It's not that part. This is not that part.
The silence is deafening. There's so much quiet. This is why we kind of crack jokes sometimes in class. It's like, damn, man, we got to sit. It's like a mortuary in here, right?
We just saw that today.
It's like a Tibetan temple. Oh, all you hear is humming. Oh, like, damn, how can we sit back here and talk and respond?
This ain't
There's no
it's
Jew
hard.
response?
It's hard to talk when you say, Why? I found why I'm getting blocked. Listen, bro. Why I'm getting blocked up?
Come on,
Why am I
you better pray with some carpenters.
Why am I deposit getting dejected at?
God, you better pray with some carpenters to fix it.
So spiritual carpenters.
So that's what I'm saying. Those spiritual carpenters. This is making open the door for us again.
Open the door in the spirit eye.
Kind this is a monster. This part is.
No, I read it again. Read it again. I said
you want to read it again?
Double up.
Read the Bible again. Read the more verses. Okay. Read verse 18.
1 and 8.
2 times for those in the back.
Hey, watch out, man.
Well, I think it makes sense.
Because that's the same people say. I'm not.
It's a sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important. These scriptures kind of like come to life when you understand the circumstances and understand the history behind it. Because you'll sit back and read it, it ain't making no damn sense. If you don't understand the backdrop of what's happening, you just hear angel words, myrtle trees, and angel. Like, what the hell is this? It ain't make any sense. But now it makes a little more sense. Give me verse 18.
Then lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns.
4 powers, 4 principalities. Read on.
And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
Now we read in books before when they sent kings and they said, "Sir, this will be the horn that pushes away this army."
Yes.
These fake priests were like, "Yeah, this right here will push away, and you will win, and you will get victory."
That was Ahab.
Yeah.
That was Ahab when they were telling him to go and fight these. It was Ahab and Jehoshaphat.
Yeah.
And they were just trying to decide if they should go and fight
Yeah.
the Syrians.
Yep.
And they said, yeah, these horns represent you're going to push them to the edge. Yes.
Push them.
Horns are power. Horn is strength.
Yeah.
Okay. Horns are principalities. Okay. So we got these 4 principalities that were in charge of scattering Judah, Israel, and what's scary is these guys, listen, if these principalities were there, they were there when the northern kingdom fell. He says, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. So they've been there since 722 BC. Their angels were there. The principality was pushing us out and weakening us since then. From 722 BC until 520. 520 BC. He said, so that's 200 years. Those horns have been there. Working against us. 200 years. These principalities were supposed to be in that jurisdiction, giving us hell. Read on. Those are what you call the curses. These are curses. Read on.
And the Most High showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do?
Matter of fact, hold on. Let me look at the hell. I know what carpenters are, but I want to make sure that there's a word that is not meaning something else.
Absolutely, I was thinking too. Maybe
Let's change this up.
Maybe I
That
don't
doesn't
know
mean that.
what
I get it.
Well, we know a carpenter builds, but
yeah. Maybe there's a
no, it's the same thing.
corporate.
It's the same thing. It's a builder. Carpenter, it just talks about craftsman, mason, skillful, smith, worker. These angels were sitting back here working on behalf of the Heavenly Father to neutralize a 200-year oppressive spirit that was on the land. Because that's really what it is. It was a 200-year-old oppressive spirit that was in the territory of Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. It was a curse for our wickedness. We brought that negative to us. When we sin and we're negative, we bring these forces that aren't going to sit back here and change until we humble down and change ourselves.
Evil angels.
Come on. Read on.
And the Most High showed me 4 carpenters. Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to
He says, these are the powers. Those 4 initial powers, their job was to keep us broken. Keep us weak.
And they rejoice.
Keep us
The
stifled.
scripture says they rejoice to do the
When
will
they
of
do
the
their job, I like, we kept these niggas broken.
Keep you broke, boy.
access denied. You ain't getting this either. He's like, F your couch, Charlie Murphy. F your couch. I'm tearing up this white sofa. This white suede. It is messed up. This your couch up.
I lost my wallet.
Think about that skit out. He was like, I don't give a shit how much you spent on this white sofa. I'm going to destroy it with these muddy boots out.
I should never let you build the temple.
Yeah. You said never let this thing get money. I'm going to tear your whole thing up. I'm looking at you while I'm tearing up your house. I'm going to laugh at you. What you going to do? That's the Lord on us,
I go to the
bro. Listen,
know the feeling. That's all I can say.
Listen, that feeling that you don't matter how hard you work, it ain't gonna work out. Remember that keeping your head above water. Temporary layoffs. It's always temporary layoffs.
Itching and scratching.
Listen, ain't we lucky we got them? Boom, 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 boom,
Good
boom.
time.
Listen, good time is suffering.
That's a
The whole show was about suffering.
It's a principality.
That was one angel. He said, man, I'm going to make y'all niggas go through this. Listen, just imagine that. Listen, that show was always about sadness. I remember when on that show, like, damn. She dropping plates out. Listen, every black family's experienced that. I'll never forget. I was like, I believe her. She's suffering right now. Something bad happened in her family. I think it was James had a heart attack or something like that. That's what it was.
I've never seen that one.
You never saw that one?
No.
Yeah, man. I remember. I forgot if he was.
He was on a job in Mississippi out of town.
Yeah.
And they carried on the show, and he just disappeared.
Yes.
That's when I noticed he disappeared. But
Yeah.
Okay.
How many seasons after that did it go? Maybe like 2 more.
It went about 2 more seasons after.
Yeah. Point is that's our people's lives, man.
Yeah.
But that is a spirit the Most High has making life difficult. We always want to blame Esau. It ain't Esau. The Most High allowed Esau to do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they're basically. Is there any way to get past that, or
That's what we're reading. That's what we're reading. The reading is about being humble and doing your work and serving the Most High and having supplication to Heavenly Father to take this off of us. And when He's ready, He'll do it.
Okay.
It took them 15 years for the Most High to pull off that curse.
We've been going through this for hundreds of years.
There you go. It lets you know how bad we've been acting.
Okay.
Think about this. This is the first major fall. We had another major fall. Obviously, we just kept getting worse and worse. We kept getting more detached from who we are. Why did the Most High let us sit back here and push Africa? Africa. Like, you want to be like the nations? That's the nations, bro. In California, Ham exploits Judah to the max, bro. Listen, red, black, and green necklaces, bro. These out of this world outfits and colors. I'm like, bro, that can't be. That what I wore back in the day. That's what I asked myself. These are the colors I rocked out. This ridiculous looking green. Look at these oranges. What's going on, man? This is what's hot in the streets. Ham didn't even wear them colors. You go to Africa, they don't wear that crap out. They're wearing cool colors out. It's hot outside. They're not wearing these crazy greens and reds and come on, man. That's not true. Point is, most like you want to be at the nations, you gonna get the damn nations. You're gonna talk this African stuff. That's what you're gonna do. Because you don't respect me. You don't respect my laws. This is the sad truth.
Talking crazy.
Listen,
It's a black woman. It's gone. I said, wow, bro, you're out of there, sir.
brother, God, don't get that. Don't get cats.
My
Don't
Nubian
get black folks talking about Egypt.
My Nubian sisters.
Don't get black folks talking.
Don't you
Egypt,
know that you are the queen of the universe? You're the mother of civilization.
Like, y'all don't even know.
Like, okay, bro.
bro? Point is this.
Buddy.
This and it's proven. These are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. That means he inspired these Samaritans to write this letter about how we've been rebellious. Them spirits inspired all these antagonists to antagonize us. So when we were sitting back here getting lynched and hung, who was antagonizing them to do so? Thank you. No, the Most High antagonized them to do it and allowed it to happen. That was part of our, thank you. Find that. That was part of our curse. Most High sent evil angels amongst us to do his job as part of punishment. We can sit back here, brother. Most High is very clear with what his is Psalm 78 and 49.
78 and 49. Psalms.
Read that.
Psalm 78 and 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath, and indignation, and trouble, by sending evil angels among them.
And trouble.
Trouble too. This is what he does. He sends evil powers, evil angels on us. And he sent evil angels on our territory for 200 years. That's punishment. Is that these guys are going to sit back here and create chaos. Greed, power, passion, pride to tear this whole thing up from the inside. So nobody that's a Jew will succeed here. So now we know why we can't succeed here amongst our own people. Let us come together. That is a spirit.
We come together for the wrong reason anyway.
Well, the thing is this. If we come together for the right reasons, he might lift this curse from us. But everybody, the 50,000 plus men, made a vow to come back to the Heavenly Father when we read in Haggai. When they came back as a nation, as a group, within 3 months, the Most High said, listen, I'm going to lift this spirit off of y'all. I'm going to lift this spirit off of your territory so you guys can grow. But they had to show the work. And they had to put the work in. They had to put aside their pride, their fears, the dangers around them. And the work had to be the only thing that mattered. Then he took the curse off of them. So, give me verse 20 again.
And the Most High showed me 4 carpenters.
Carpenters. I love that, man. Read on.
Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. And these are come to fray them. So
now these carpenters are coming to battle those carpenters. So listen, Most High, this is what it means by the Most High is a man of war. He's like, I want you to put it on these guys. Now it's time for these spirits, these carpenters. Get these carpenters out here from Boston. They're from Boston, Massachusetts.
They're Bostonian angels.
Those are Bostonian carpenters. Those are the best. Those are the best ones you can find. They're from Boston. Get those cats from Boston and go put it on these guys. Anyway, I'm just being silly, man. And get these Yankees out of here, man. Let's continue.
So that no man did lift up his head. Cozy. But these are come to fray them.
So he says these carpenters are coming to attack and battle these 4 angels that have been here for 200 years. Read on.
To cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
So what's happening is the intention is to take the power of the Gentiles that's working against us and giving us an opportunity to get blessed again. Because the finality of those 200 years of these angels' control over the jurisdiction was allowing the nations to completely control the affairs of the building. Okay, so now when these carpenters are fraying them and going to war with them, it's going to loosen that pressure and that negativity. Because you're going to read after this thing breaks, the nations are initially with the development. When the Greeks come into power, they're at peace with the Jews. The Persians, Darius ends up being at peace with the Jews. Then the Greeks end up being at peace with the Jews. Then the Romans end up being at peace with the Jews. So the Most High lets off a spirit that was in opposition to our stability. Okay?
Yeah, a curse. Ill favor from the Lord.
And he's taking that spirit off of.
We're just reading that the Most High does with administrations, bro. Most High sets in place certain angels. He has this spiritual order, and we want to violate. We're just really reshuffling our situation, bro.
Con. And listen, I'm not trying to get this deep, but go to 2nd Ezra 7:28. This kind of goes along with this point. I'm not going to go deep with it because there's more layers to this concept. But keep this in mind. For 200 years, the Most High has had this spirit hover in Israel and not allow growth to be present in the region. Now the Most High is like, these four carpenters are going to come in here and fray these four horns and bring peace. We've been reading in Zechariah and we've been reading Haggai that peace is going to come to the region. Okay? So read 2nd Ezra 7:28.
7:28. For my son Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him.
Stop. Now listen. This is not talking about Yahushua Christ. This is talking about Yahushua, the first high priest, once we got our kingdom back, once we got our city back. Don't forget, this is Ezra talking. Ezra is talking about the same, he's in the same time frame as this Jesus. This Joshua. Don't forget Joshua, Jesus is the same name. It's the same spelling. So he's like this Jesus, just Joshua, this Jeshua, because he was spelled three ways. Jesus, Joshua, Jeshua. The first Levite high priest coming back into power in Israel, in Jerusalem. He said, this Jesus, read on,
shall be revealed with those that be with him.
Those that were with him were the 50,000 men, Levites, Judites, and Benjamites that made the trip to cross back into Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. Read on.
And they that remain shall rejoice within 400 years.
And he says there was going to be 400 years of peace. From the time they got there, 400, that was this 400 years of peace. And there was approximately 400 years of peace before there was any issues that we read about with the abomination of desolation. Okay? There was around 400 years of peace before that happened. That happened around 168 BC, if I'm not mistaken. No. This is I'm gonna say this.
The second abomination of desolation.
Or the first one was Antiochus Epiphanes. So the point is, this 400-year period is still marking 400 years of peace before we had to suffer again. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to say this is before the fall of Jerusalem. Okay? Let's keep reading.
After these years shall my son Christ die, and all men that have life.
And after these years, Christ is going to die. Okay? But this Jesus was Joshua, which was Jeshua, which is the high priest. And he says when he came in, there was going to be 400 years of peace. Then Christ is going to die. And that's that span. It was the 400 years of peace, Christ living on earth, Christ died. Okay? That's what this phase that Ezra was prophesying about. We'll go into all of it, verse 30 and stuff, at a later date. I just want to kind of tie in why these demons these spirits getting pulled out of that area was so significant at this time. Because when he pulled off that spirit of resistance, he brought these four carpenters, which brought in and ushered 400 years of peace before more negative spirits came to the city and brought about pain at the next level when we fell by the Roman Empire. Okay? Are we clear on that? Okay. So there was a phase of peace, because even the abomination destination, that was a quick hiccup. We regained our situation. But the big fall came after Christ died. So, but there was a period of time when there was peace. The Greeks were at peace with us. The Persians were at peace with us. The Romans were at peace with us for a long period of time. This is that peace the Most High is promising us after we had fallen and had that 200 years of pressure on us. Okay, so read 21 again, and we're going to continue on in Zechariah.
Zechariah 1 and 21. Then spake I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horn over the land of Judah to scatter it.
Okay. So pretty much what's happening is these spirits are opening up the door, not so that the Gentiles won't be in power anymore, but the Gentiles will sit back here and look upon the Jews favorably. Because the Gentiles didn't lose their power and seat of authority. They just looked on us favorably as long as we were in order. Okay? Read chapter 2, verse 1. We're going to read chapter 2. Then we're going to read chapter 3 and probably shut down after that.
Zechariah 2 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
I lifted up mine eyes again. I lifted up mine eyes again, and looked, and behold, a man with a measuring line in his hand. Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem.
Now listen, that sounds a lot like
Ooh.
what do you call it? Revelations 11. Where was that reed like unto a rod that was measuring the temple, that was measuring the city? So this is similar, not the same, because these angels were measuring the entire city of Jerusalem, measuring the people. Read on.
Then said I, whither goest thou? And he said unto me, to measure Jerusalem, to see what is the breadth thereof, and what is the length thereof. And behold, the angel that talked with me went forth, and another angel went out to meet him, and said unto him, run, speak to this young man, saying, Jerusalem shall be inhabited as towns without walls, for the multitude of men and cattle therein.
Listen, this is talking about the future. Okay, he says Jerusalem is going to be inhabited without walls because of all the excess of cattle and men and resources being drawn into the city. Isaiah 65 says the same thing about how the gates of Jerusalem will be open day and night because of the force of the Gentiles coming to it. Read on. Verse 5.
For I, saith the Most High, will be unto her a wall of fire round about.
So he's like, the Jews in the future, in the kingdom times, are not going to have to, their confidence isn't going to be a man-made wall. He said the wall is going to be a fire that the Lord sits back here and has. He's going to protect our perimeter, our six, so to speak, our back. Read on.
For I, saith the Most High, will be unto her a wall of fire round about, and will be the glory in the midst of her. Ho, 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 come forth.
It's 2 hoes, not 3, man. That was Santa.
You watch
That
it.
sounded like some Santa stuff.
You watching
That was some Santa stuff. Come on now. We're bringing Santa in here, man. Come on now.
He got us all.
I was like, come on, man.
You were waiting for
They don't
that.
need any more ink
Yeah,
cover
yeah,
back
yeah.
up.
Babylonian in the window, bro. Come on now. Let's keep going. I'm sorry, man.
6 from the top. Ho, ho, come forth,
There we
and
go.
flee from the land of the north, saith the Most High.
And this is why the Most High is, this is how we know this is talking about the end times. He's like, we're going to still be fleeing from the land of the north. We already left the land of the north already in 538 BC. So this land of the north is coming out of Babylon. Read on.
For I have spread you abroad as the four winds of the heavens, saith the Most High.
The funny thing is that we hadn't been spread out that far yet. He said at this time in the future, we'd have been spread throughout all 4 corners of heaven. Read on.
Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
Edom is the daughter of Babylon. This is a future prophecy. The daughter of Babylon, that's Psalms 137. Okay, let me I'm pretty sure that's Psalms 137. I'm pretty darn sure.
Yep. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon.
Esau said, raise it. Edom was the daughter of Babylon. This is a future prophecy. How Zion was going to be delivered from the land of the Edomites, the Babylon Empire, which is America present day. Read on.
Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. For thus saith the Most High of Hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
Listen, he says, the nations that touch us have touched the apple of his eye. Read on.
For, behold, I will shake mine hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants.
He says, what I'm going to do is flip things like I flipped things with the Egyptian Empire. Didn't the scriptures say that the Israelites and the Hebrews spoiled the Egyptians?
Yep.
We're going to spoil our captors at the end. There's going to be a shifting of power. That's really what this is. The kingdom is a shifting of power, rulership, and authority. It ain't personal. We will eventually have control over the global economy. And the nations will serve us. Just like we have been the major cog in keeping up this country in America. Read on.
And ye shall know that the Most High of Hosts hath sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion. For lo, I come, and I will dwell in the midst of thee, saith the Most High. And many nations shall be joined to the Most High in that day.
So what he's saying is, sing and rejoice in that day, because the Most High is going to be with us. But on top of the Most High being with us, the nations are going to be joined unto us as well. And they're going to be serving the Heavenly Father as well. The whole world is going to be under the global empire of Christ. And the nations are going to serve Christ. It's like we have to serve Christ. Read on.
And many nations shall be joined to the Most High in that day, and shall be my people.
Read that again.
And shall be my people.
One more time.
And shall be my people.
So they're his people also. We're his
The ones
people.
that want to serve.
But the ones that serve are going to be his people. So are we going to sit back here and just do all kind of filth and negative to him, Mike? Get rid of kingdom rulers now? He
Now
says
it's
that,
our turn. Brothers love that.
that retribution verse. We're going to get them back. All the bad you did to us, we're going to do to you. My turn. He says, no, man, the ones who serve, they're going to be his people and treated with love and respect also. Read on. Not trying to make a whole class about this.
It's another day.
That's another day, bro.
And shall be my people.
I guess we're not Jewish enough. We're not Hebrew enough. Even the Edomite Amalekites call the nations Goyim, and that they're dogs and that they're nobodies. That's how they roll. Read on.
And I will dwell in the midst of thee, and thou shalt know that the Most High of Hosts hath sent me unto thee.
The Most High is going to dwell in the midst of us and those nations that serve. Because they're going to be his people too. He says, I'm going to dwell with all of you at the end. Read on.
And the Most High shall inherit Judah his portion in the Holy Land.
And there's no doubt about it. He inherited us. We're his firstborn. But we're his firstborn of what? Of many. So we will be their heads, and the other ones will serve and be up under and follow Christ also.
The firstborn.
God, we're the firstborn. So we're entitled to what?
Israel is my firstborn.
Right. But yeah, so but that doesn't mean that, listen, so that
Don't
means,
kiss the boot.
think about this. Do you not love your second son? And your third son, you love them too.
Or your brother. If you're the
Come
first
on,
son,
man.
you love your brother.
He just said the first gets the rights and the privileges that the other ones can't get.
Gets the inheritance.
It ain't no deeper than that. We want to make it deeper than that. Yes, sis?
So you're saying that when you take the lead, we hang them or nothing?
No. There you go. There it is. And you listen, and a lot of us is thinking that. They're going to be this bonfire's hanging bonfire.
Now listen,
We're going to round them up and hang them. Get them, Billy. Get them, Billy.
Some of them,
We're going to get them trucks. Get them, Billy.
I'm gonna say this. Not forever. There will be a period of retribution And then it's going back.
Listen, retribution to the wicked. Retribution to the wicked.
The wicked.
The wicked. But you know
Not
the crazy?
that
But
one.
hold on, listen. The Most High said vengeance is whose?
That's
Who
exactly
gonna do
right.
the killing?
Yeah.
Not us. We want to get it in. It's your turn now.
Tap me in.
Bring him in. Bring him in. Woo-hoo! You're in the back of it. Get him. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go hunting.
Yes,
Let's go coon hunting.
I'm ready.
A lot of us.
Got my boots on.
Come on, yes sir. We gonna get our dogs. We gonna go hunting. It ain't gonna be that way. The Lord's gonna sit back here and put them in order. Who did they offend? Us or the Lord? Thank you. Lord's gonna deal with them. We are His battle axe and weapons of war. We know that. But the truth is, He's gonna be the one that sits back here and first establish retribution. If it's about killing, we got to kill the rebels of Israel first. Let's get them. Let's get those bad seeds.
Ain't gonna be Marcus is mad. We gotta get behind Marcus. Marcus gonna lead us.
Oh, but listen, we gotta go rebel hunting first.
That's right.
Let's go rebel hunting for Israelites that don't want to lock in. Let's go find those guys first.
That's right.
Then we'll sit back here and find other evildoers. It ain't about we don't like their color, we don't like their skin. Come on, man.
Their phenotype,
That's the point. It's not about that. It's about righteousness and wickedness.
spirit.
That's what we have to be conscious of. Okay. I hope we understand, man. We're not making things up. The Bible is very clear with what it says. Very clear. Give me verse 12
And the
again.
angels of the reapers.
Yeah, the angels of the reaper. That's the point. They're going to be the ones grabbing and throwing in the lake of fire. Read on.
12. And the Most High shall inherit Judah his portion in the Holy Land, and shall choose Jerusalem again.
Mm-hmm.
Be silent, O all flesh, before the Most High, for He raised up out His holy habitation.
He's raising up His holy habitation so there can be a holy world. We were supposed to be what? The city on a hill. That's what we were supposed to be. A city on a hill. And like Solomon said the same thing. We were supposed to be the examples to the nations so the nations can follow us. We just weren't mature enough to be those people. Okay. Now, let's get Zechariah 3, verse 1 through 10.
Zechariah 3:1. And He showed me Joshua the high priest standing before the angel of the Most High.
So this is Joshua, Jesus. Jeshua was the other writing for this Joshua when we read it earlier in Ezra. Same guy though. Read on.
And the evil one standing at His right hand to resist Him.
Just say Satan, man. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
And the Most High said unto Satan, the Most High rebuke thee, O Satan. Even the Most High that hath chosen Jerusalem rebuke thee. Is not this a brand plucked out of the fire?
But don't forget, this Satan that was getting in the way of construction was also those 4 horns that was sitting back here impeding growth for over 200 years. But first of all, who hired Satan to go there in the first place? The Most High. Now it's time to pluck him out, and now the warfare is accomplished. Read on.
Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments.
He was, because he was defiled, as of the nation was defiled. We read earlier in I think it was Haggai 2, that as the Levites were is how the people were. The people were defiled because the priests were defiled. Now we have Joshua or Jeshua was defiled. The people were defiled. Read on.
Now Joshua was clothed with filthy garments, and stood before the angel. And he answered and spake unto those that stood before him, saying, Take away the filthy garments from him. And unto him he said, Behold, I have caused thine iniquity to pass from thee, and I will clothe thee with change of raiment.
So what the Spirit is saying is, listen, your garments were dirty, you were filthy, now I'm going to cleanse you so that you can be prepared to help cleanse and dedicate this temple. He eliminated that sin, he cleansed them, so he could be in position as a high priest to properly instruct and lead Israel to peace and stability. At least be the initiator of peace for that 400-year period of time. Read on.
And I said, Let them set a fair mitre upon his head. So they set a fair mitre upon his head, and clothed him with garments. And the angel of the Most High stood by. And the angel of the Most High protested unto Joshua, saying, Thus saith the Most High of hosts, if thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and shalt also keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by. Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch. For
Christ.
behold,
He's going to bring his servant the branch, which is Christ. He's like, pretty much he's saying, hold it down, establish the spirit of how I want things done, until the branch comes. Christ is that tree. Christ is that branch. You read that in what? John chapter 15. It's Luke, I think it's John 15. He's like, listen, hold it down, establish the tone until the branch comes, until Christ comes. This is what ties in 2nd Ezra chapter 7. That Joshua, Yeshua, or Yahushai, the priest, was there to establish the spirit until Yahushai came in the flesh. You see that tie-in and that parallel? This is what's happening. That time between Yahushai, the priest, he was supposed to reset the tone. His garments were made clean. He was cleansed to cleanse the temple until the power that was responsible for the temple in the first place gets and is born and is created on earth. So Joshua or Yahushai is the placeholder for Christ to come. Read verse 8 again.
Hear now, O Joshua the high priest, thou and thy fellows that sit before thee, for they are men wondered at. For behold, I will bring forth my servant, the branch.
These men were wondered at because of their conduct and the peace that came behind Zerubbabel and Yahushai's work. And there was 400 years of peace leading up to Christ's emergence on earth. Read on.
For behold, the stone that I have laid before Joshua, upon one stone shall be 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave the graving thereof, saith the Most High of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day.
And this is why this parallels and ties in with Ezra. He's going to sit back and remove the iniquity of 200 years of sin and give us a clean slate in the city in one day. And this is why there was peace, and at least there was tranquility in the nation until Christ came on earth. Okay? Read on.
In that day, saith the Most High of hosts, shall ye call every man his neighbor under the vine and under the fig tree.
There was going to be unity in that place, unity in that city, until the end, until Christ came down. And after Christ died, that was the beginning of the end of our time in Jerusalem. Shortly after that, when he died, by the time we got to 70 AD is when we fell again. Does that make any sense? So what we're going to go into next week is when Zerubbabel, we know the Spirit entered into Zerubbabel as he was the governor in that second year. We're going to read about what happens to him and how he wins the favor of Darius to inspire Darius to open up construction again. But we're reading what's happening spiritually. Most High's taking off all these resisting forces to allow the Most High to open a door to get things constructed. Hopefully we can understand how the Most High operates so we can understand why we're impeded from our blessings and what it takes to open the door. And it'd be good to re-listen to these type of classes to get kind of reestablished on how to get ourselves right with the Heavenly Father so He can bless us and be on our side. Hey, my back is good. You got to send these prayers up, bro. I got to kind of walk around. Israel, Amajim, Wapunya, Yerushalayim. Man, I'm not in a good spot, bro.
So you want one? Right?
You got to start here.
Gotcha.
You mean to blow the horn?
Yeah, I have to blow it. Yeah,
I'll blow it, and then I'll let you go read it. Just hold on. Let me just blow it just to get it.
Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua.
Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh.
Okay, slow down. Let's take your time. No, just take your time. Do it again.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushai.
Yahweh in the name of Yahushua.
Please listen to us.
Please listen to us.
Right now.
Right now.
Send Michael Allah.
Send Michael Allah.
And the righteous angels.
And the righteous angels.
To watch over.
To watch over.
Bless.
Bless.
Heal.
Heal.
Protect.
Protect.
And make strong.
And make strong.
All the people of Yahshua.
All the people of Yahshua.
Also send unto us.
Also send unto us.
Much wisdom.
Much wisdom.
Much knowledge.
Much knowledge.
And much understanding.
Much understanding.
Much patience.
Much patience.
Much faith.
Much faith.
Much brotherhood.
Much brotherhood.
And much love.
Much love.
Spiritual power.
Spiritual power.
And forgive all of our sins.
And forgive all of our sins.
Yahushua come quickly.
Yahushua come quickly.
For in thee
For in thee
is our hope.
is our hope.
Always.
Always.
And forever.
And forever.
Amen.
Amen.
Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua B'Katah.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Brakta.
Barak.
Barak.
Alta Yahweh.
Allah Yahweh.
Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
Nathan.
Nathan.
Lata.
Ata.
Hara'ah.
Hara'ah.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that gives us the law.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of
Yahushua.
Yahushua that brings us the law.
All right. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Brakta Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Nathan.
Nathan.
La Yah.
Yahya.
Awar.
Awar.
La Ra'ah.
Lara'ah.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that gives us the light to see.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua that gives us the light to see.
All right. Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Brakta Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Hawa'ah.
Hara'ah.
Nathan Nawa.
Tawanawa.
La Korah.
Lakara'ah.
Ha'ai.
Ha'ai.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua.
that gives us the ram's horn to call the people.
That gives us the ram horn to call the people.
Barakatah Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua.
Brakta Yahweh Hashem Yahushua.
Hawa'ah.
Hara'ah.
Nathan Nawa.
Tawanawa.
Shakon Saman.
Shakaman.
Zayath.
Zayah.
Lamashach.
Lamashah.
Yasha'ala.
Yasha'ala.
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua
Bless you, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua.
that gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
That gives us the olive oil to anoint Israel.
Psalms 92. Shayar.
Shayar.
Hayamawath.
Iowa.
La Dawad.
Ladua.
Hana.
Hana.
Ma.
Ma.
Tawab.
Tawab.
Wama.
Wama.
Naim.
Naim.
Shabbat.
Shabbat.
Akim.
Akim.
Gam.
Gam.
Yechad.
Yechad.
Kasherman.
Kasherman.
Hatawab.
Atuwa.
Al.
Al.
Harash.
Harash.
Yerad.
Yorad.
Al.
Al.
Hazakwan.
Hazakwan.
Zakwan.
Zakwan.
Aharon.
Haran.
Sharad.
Sharad.
Al.
Al.
Payah.
Payah.
Marawathiwa.
Mariwatwa.
Kator.
Kator.
Karamwa.
Karama.
Shayarad.
Shayram.
Al.
Al.
Haharia.
Aharia.
Tazakwan.
Kazakwan.
Hayah.
Hayah.
Sham.
Sham.
Tazawah.
Kazawa.
Yahawah.
Yahweh.
Ath.
Ad.
Habaraka.
Habaraka.
Chayayam.
Hayayam.
I.
Ai.
Haywalam.
Hawalam.
I'm gonna read it real fast. In English. I'll read it better. All right. Psalm 33. Behold how good and how pleasant it is
Behold how good and how pleasant it is
for brethren to dwell together in unity.
for brothers to dwell together in unity.
It is like the precious ointment upon the head
It is like the precious ointment upon the head
that ran down upon the beard,
that ran down the beard,
even Aaron's beard,
even Aaron's beard,
that went down to the skirts of his garments,
that went down to the skirts of his garments,
as the dew of Hermon,
as the dew of Hermon,
as the dew that descended
and as the dew that descended
upon the mountains of Zion.
upon the mountains of Zion.
For there the Lord
For there the Lord
commanded the blessing,
commanded the blessing,
even life,
even life,
forevermore.
forevermore.
By Shem Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
Now I'm going to read Psalm 92 in English. For it is a good thing
For it is a good thing
to give thanks unto the Lord,
to give thanks unto the Lord,
to sing praises unto thy name,
to sing praise unto thy name,
O Most High,
O Most High,
to show forth thy loving kindness
to show forth thy loving kindness
in the morning,
in the morning,
and thy faithfulness
and thy faithfulness
every night, upon an instrument of 10 strings,
upon the instrument of 10 strings,
and upon the psaltery,
and upon the psaltery,
upon the harp,
upon the harp,
with a solemn sound.
with the solemn sound.
For thou,
For thou,
Lord,
Lord,
hast made me glad to thy work.
hast made me glad to do thy works.
I will triumph in the works of thy hands.
I will triumph in the works of thy hand.
O Lord,
O Lord,
how great are thy works,
how great are thy
and thy
works,
thoughts are very deep.
and thy thoughts are very deep.
A brutish man knoweth not
A brutish man knoweth not
Neither doth the fool understand this.
Neither does the fool understand it.
When the wicked spring is the grass,
When the wicked spring is the grass,
when all the works of iniquity do flourish,
when all the workers of iniquity do flourish,
is that they shall be destroyed forever.
is that they shall be destroyed forever.
But thou, Lord,
But thou, Lord,
art most high
art
forevermore.
most high forevermore.
For lo,
For lo,
thy enemies,
thy enemies,
O Lord,
O Lord,
for lo,
for lo,
thy enemies shall perish.
thy enemies shall perish.
All the workers
All the workers
of iniquity
of iniquity
shall be scattered.
shall be scattered.
But my horn
But my horn
shalt thou exalt,
shalt thou exalt,
like the horn of a unicorn.
like the horn of a unicorn.
I shall be anointed
I shall be anointed
with fresh oil.
with fresh oil.
My eye also
My eye also
shall see my desire.
shall see my desire.
All my enemies
All my enemies
and my ears
and my ears
shall hear my desire.
shall hear my desire.
All the wicked
All the wicked
that rise up
that rise up
against me,
against me,
the righteous shall flourish
the righteous shall flourish
like the palm tree.
like the palm tree.
He shall grow
He shall grow
like a cedar in
like
Lebanon.
a cedar in Lebanon.
Those that be planted
Those that be planted
in the house of the
in
Lord
the house of the Lord
shall flourish
shall flourish
in the courts of our power.
in the courts of our power.
They shall bring forth
They shall bring forth
fruit in old age.
fruit in old age
That should be fat
that shall be fat
and flourishing,
and flourishing,
to show
to show
that the Lord is upright.
that the Lord is upright.
He is my rock,
He is my rock,
and there is no unrighteousness
and there is no unrighteousness
in him.
in him.
By Shem Yahushua.
By Hashem Yahushua.
All right. All right. The four corners. Yahweh by Shem Yahushua.
Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Bakanah.
Bakanah.
Yasha'Allah.
Yasha'Allah.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Bakanah.
Bakanah.
Yasha'Allah.
Yasha'Allah.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Bakanah.
Bakanah.
Yasha'Allah.
Yasha'Allah.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
By Shem.
By Hashem.
Yahushua.
Yahushua.
Bakanah.
Bakanah.
Yasha'Allah.
Yasha'Allah.
Wabiyath.
Wabiyath.
Support. In Yahushua's name.
In Yahushua's name.
In Yahushua's name.
In Yahushua's name.
We pray.
We pray.
The water.
The water.
The miyat.
The miyat.
Aman.
Aman.
Men circle up.
Saluting out in the heavenly order. Yahweh, Wa, Yahushai, Wa, Kal, Yasha'Allah. My name is Amadin. Barak.
Yahweh by Shem Yahushua Barakah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
Kwam Yasha'Allah.
My name is
Turn face sisters.
Turn faces. Saluting out the daughters of Zion. My name is Amadin. Barak.
Yahweh Shemar Atah by Shem Yahushua. On top. Dismiss, fall out. The water for showing up. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We'll see you again on Monday. Shalom.